there really isn't a need to rename this rivalry. But maybe for one afternoon, it's the Monon Bell Classic. For the first time in 25 years, we've got snowpack now. The wonderful grounds crew at DePauw University have cleared Nick Morose's field at Blackstock Stadium, but we will have frigid conditions for this classic rivalry that is sure to heat things up. My name is Greg Rakestraw. I am honored to be on the call for a second year of the Monon Bell Classic as Wabash and DePauw not only play for one of the most famous trophies in all of sports, they play for the North Coast Athletic Conference Championship and the league's automatic bid to the Division III playoffs. I am thrilled to be joined by a pair of friends, both that have specifically different rooting interest in these games. From Wabash College, it is Steve Hoffman. From DePauw University, it is Brad Walker-Merca. And as the old quarterback, I'll defer to you for weather conditions. The snow has stopped, but knowing that these teams cannot have replicated these conditions this year until today, how much of an impact will the weather have on this game?
Well, the replication, it's funny you brought that up. Brad and I were talking about that earlier. It did not feel like a Bell week all week because of our 70-degree sunny temperatures. It's supposed to be overcast and cold for this game. But look, on the weather conditions, on my drive down here, I would have answered differently than I did now. Brad and I were able to walk down onto the field, look at the surface, watch the players warming up for both teams. They were cutting fine. The snow's melting. It's going through the synthetic turf. I don't think it's going to be a factor. Along with the wind, it's died down a little bit, a little breezy, but other than that, don't see it as a factor today.
It has been 2 wonderful years for 2 historically tremendous programs. Brad, let's talk about your DePauw Tigers. 8-1. If they win today, first time in program history, they've had back-to-back 9-win seasons. What's been the key to Brett Dietz's team's success this year?
Well, I mean, their defense is one of the best in the country, and they'll have a tall task in trying to stop Liam Thompson and Wabash today. But this is a team that's hungry, right? They got up 21-0 in the Monon Bell Classic last year when they had already won the NCAC and knew they were going to the playoffs, blew that lead, lost that game. So right now the playoffs, that's next week. Today, it's about exercising those demons, winning back that Monon Bell, and going into the playoffs with a good taste in their mouth. And they've got a team to do it, but it's going to be a tall order.
Steve, for Wabash, they are 7-2. Again, their offense prolific. Number 1 passing offense in the country, 2nd in total offense in the nation. What has made this Wabash engine go all season?
You know, Coach Moreau believes they are peaking at the right time, and I think so too, you know, watching their games this year. A little struggles earlier. Second week loss to North Central. A lot of people were losing to North Central, so I don't put a lot of stock in that one. Didn't play well against Denison. It really comes down to our defense. Look, our offense and Liam Thompson, as Brad mentioned, is powerful, and they're tough to stop. I think we will be able to put up points. The big question mark this year for Wabash has been the defense. Let's see how the Wabash defense does against that stout running attack for DePauw.
Well, let's talk about key players. And Brad, for DePauw, their best defense may be their top running back. Gus Baumgartner from Garin Catholic had a big game in this rivalry last year. He could be playing keep away today.
Well, that's really it, Rick. It's about playing keep away from Liam Thompson and Wabash. And DePauw has the offense to do that. Gus Baumgartner, not a tall guy, but powerful, just over 200 pounds. He's really get the ball in the breadbasket, 3 yards, cloud of dust. But he's got the athletic ability to maybe break one out. But hey, if you're DePauw, you're thinking, sure, we can throw the ball, but you know what? You get 4 yards every play. You know what you never face? 4th down. That's what DePauw is looking at and trying to keep the ball away from Liam Thompson, and Baumgartner can help him do it.
Well, Liam Thompson, we mentioned him twice. Let's officially name him as our player to watch today for Wabash College. He's 170 yards away from setting a single-season passing record for this historic program.
Yeah, and certainly, look, we've watched it this year. We watched him his freshman year, sophomore year, now his junior year. The game has slowed down for him. When you see number 2 out there, he is in control of the game now. His first 2 years, he was learning. All we got to say is 196 quarterback rating, which is insane.
Right.
Last week, guys, against Kenyon, he was 30 of 34 for 450 yards, 4 touchdowns, and no interceptions. Don't see box lines like that very often, so we'll see what he can do today. They also would like to see him run a little bit more today than he has all year.
You heard the voice of Jamie Harding. He is our referee for today's game. Wabash has won the toss. They have elected to defer. Let's welcome the 4th member of our broadcast crew. He is out in the elements as we speak. Derek Schultz, what do you got for us from those snowy sidelines?
Guys, by all accounts, last season was a banner year for the DePauw Tigers. They tied a single-season mark with wins. They went to the Division III playoffs, they won their league, and for the first time in program history, they won a Division III playoff game. The problem is, they didn't win this game. I asked Coach Brett Dietz about it, and he said, he took the company line and said, look, we didn't reach all the goals that we had last year. I asked Coach Morrell on the other side, whose 2019 team won the league, went to the Division III playoffs but lost this game. He was more blunt with me. He said, look, no, the season is not a success without winning this game. No one has ever asked me about the Division III playoffs or the league. They asked me, Coach, the bell, the bell, the bell. Brad and Steve know it all comes down to this game.
You guys have played in this game, and Brad, I'll start with you on this one. Give me your Bell memories. What immediately comes back to mind nearly 20 years later?
It's this atmosphere. You know, we've got great fans both at Wabash and DePauw, but you never have this many fans. It's the yelling, it's the students, it's parents, it's alumni, it's recruits in the stands, it's walking out and running out like these kids just did right now onto the field and saying, all the talk, all the prep, everything, here it is. You just kind of feel it when you run out on the field, and it is a new level of excitement, really, for anything you can do athletically at this age. That's what you remember. And then you get in the game, and it's kind of playing football. But this moment right here, right before kickoff, right now, this is what sets it apart.
My friend, as a player, as a coach, as a broadcaster, you have been a part of this rivalry now for decades. When I say Bell game, what comes to mind?
Intensity. And as Brad said, everybody in this stadium, you know, there are bigger venues, bigger games, bigger stages, but everybody in this stadium is watching every single play and everything that happens on the field. My quick memory is my freshman year, we were dressing underneath the stadium, I think just as Wabash does now, and walking out and getting things dropped on us and things thrown at us. I'm like, okay, this is a different game than I've ever been part of from Delphi, Indiana. So it's the intensity of the game, and like Brad said, just the feeling right now before the game, just being around, watching, playing, coaching, whatever, is just nothing like it. So it's exciting.
Steve, if you've ever seen me throw, you know that wasn't me throwing that golf ball at you.
No, they missed.
Okay. Well, then it probably was. Maybe
he pointed out who to throw it to, but it
Right.
wasn't him that was throwing the golf ball. Kicking off for the Wabash College Little Giants, Brody Rucker, young man from Haskell, Oklahoma, will handle the kickoff duties. Heading back deep to return for the DePauw Tigers. Kick returner. Dual 13s. Matthew Coons, defensive back. Gabe Quigley, a wide receiver. Could be either one of those two talented players. And Dane Young, defensive back from Center Grove, also back deep to return as well. First Monon Bell snow game in 25 years. Always expect the unexpected when these two get together. Kick is fielded, fair catch called for just inside the 10-yard line, and we will see the DePauw offense on the field. Let's show you their starting lineups. Skill position players for DePauw offensively. Wally Rennie as a one-year starter at quarterback, replacing Chase Andrus from a season ago. Rennie has dealt with some injuries during the course of this season. 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the season. The senior from Terrace Park, Ohio, also a very capable runner as well. We mentioned Gus Baumgartner, 9 touchdowns rushing this year. Quigley, Veith, Shaw, and Smith, the key pieces as well. Quigley motioning across the formation, the converted quarterback from Carmel. Handoff goes to Baumgartner, and he will pick up 4 yards. And frankly, Brad, that's exactly what DePauw wants to do all day long.
Yeah, you'll see they spread Wabash out, too, with those 4 wide receivers, so trying to make sure that defense is spread so Baumgartner can hit some holes. And we saw Quigley in motion. Keep an eye on him. He's more of kind of a hybrid tight end wide receiver, but Coach Dietz loves trying to get him the ball in some space. He is a great athlete and another key to DePauw this afternoon.
Saw the starters fly by on your screen. Taking the handoff, running, will keep. He'll bounce it outside. First big pop of the game, delivered by the Wabash College Little Giants.
And Coach Merrill said DePauw's offense is much different with Rennie and the quarterback. So he was concerned with Rennie coming back. He said he's really good. It really adds to Baumgartner running up the middle, and that run, or the read option that they ran there, really got to contain Rennie, which at least we did on this first play.
That was Ben Netting that had the tackle. You see the defensive line starters, Jake Pash, freshman from Indianapolis Lutheran, on your screen. 3rd and short in the flat, catch made, first down, making a defender miss. Tackled about the 47-yard line. Catch is made by Robbie Ballantyne, and Brad, he's been a big play threat all season. That's his 21st catch of the year. 7 have already gone for touchdowns.
And how about that? Welcome to the Monon Bell game. Freshman, Mr. Ballantyne. He has really come on this back half of the season. Just a freshman out of Crown Point. That's a great job there. Being patient, not the quickest throw, but he's patient, able to swivel and make that defender miss and get a big first down.
Ballantyne played and won a state championship last year at Andrea in the 2A classification. First tremendous athletic program out of the region. Handoff goes to Baumgartner, and Baumgartner plows forward. Eventually he'll be grabbed after a gain of 7. Joe Rios, will call his name a lot, junior from Pendleton Heights, in on the tackle. And Steve, I know Wabash defense has been a work in progress all season long.
Yeah, it certainly has, ups and downs, and given up a lot of points to some really good offenses earlier, but they've started to gel a little bit, and we'll see what they can do here against this potent offense. But we haven't had a lot of success against the pass, as you could see on that last third down conversion.
Again, the handoff to Baumgartner, and Baumgartner trying to find a hole. It'll be about a yard shot. Baumgartner will pick up 2, and it sets up 3rd down and 1.
I think if you're Brett Dietz here, you're probably thinking 2 plays. I mean, you're in that part of the field already. You know you got a dangerous offense on the other side of the ball, but you got 2 plays to get a yard, so maybe they get a little aggressive right here and see if they can move something down the field and set up a 4th and short if they don't convert.
You would think potentially 4-down territory if you do not get it here. It's almost a free play here. But they'll just simply give the conventional handoff, and that's good enough. Defense stiffens, but he only needed a yard. He picked up 2. First down DePauw. It is the 2nd of this opening drive. You got to remember, this DePauw had off to a great start last year, had a 21-0 lead by the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I don't think DePauw is going to be comfortable whether they have any type of lead until there's 0-0s and a 4 on that scoreboard. But let's not get our head of ourselves here. Still a long way to go. But nice job on the ground by Baumgartner thus far.
Handoff, this is to Quigley. Quigley has a seam, has a lead blocker, has a first down, and then some. He'll be taken down at about the 21-yard line. Jose Franco on the tackle for the Little Giants, but not before Quigley picks up just shy of 20 yards.
Well, they said they want to get him in space, get the ball in his hands. You saw that. He's a big guy, able to plow through a couple of tackles. A nice lead block there. It looked like Drew Moore, the backup running back, number 1, doing a good job of clearing a lane. So a nice play call by DePauw, and Quigley showing the athlete that he is, getting outside.
So 3 wide receiver set. Drew Moore, the backup, as far as the running back position is concerned. Getting a snap here, looking for the end zone, looking for Ballantyne, jump ball. Pass interference flag is going to be thrown.
Well, they challenged maybe the best player on defense for Wabash. Jose Franco is a really, really good corner, the senior, and that's just no man's land. That's really tough. Looked like pretty good pass defense, but the ball was maybe underthrown just a little bit, and that always seems to see the flags come out.
Interference on the defense, number 7, 15 yards, automatic, first down.
He'll end up being about half the distance of the goal line, but still, it will be.
Correction, it is a spot foul. Still automatic first down.
Well, they'll move it down to the 2-yard line.
Yeah, and they're going to call that. If you don't get your head back, showing that you're playing the ball, if there's any contact at all, if you run through, and I think being underthrown, Brad, you're right, that's what draws that penalty.
The ball was thrown from about the 22-yard line. They're going to move the ball back, I believe, a little bit here. Incorrect marking of the ball. It's not going to be 1st and goal from the 2. It's still going to be first down, and it's still within the shadow of the end zone.
The foul occurred beyond 15 yards. The previous foul was the 22-yard line. Is a 15-yard penalty. First down DePauw at the 7-yard line.
Jamie unofficially be the 5th member of our broadcast crew during the course of the day. So 1st and goal for DePauw. Already 3.5 minutes off the clock on this opening drive. Plenty of time on the play clock. On the handoff. That's Moore. Nothing to it. Tackle made by the Little Giants. Jamari Washington, the senior from Hammond Gavitt.
And you think about how DePauw's gone down the field, exactly what you said, Brad. You said 3 yards, 3 yards, 3 yards, you get a first down. They converted on two third down conversions with those 3 and 4 yard runs, but then they give it to Quigley. He also said to look out for on the big play in the middle of that drive. So really keeping Wabash defense off balance a little bit right now.
Baumgartner back in there. Again, Quigley the motion man on the jet sweep. Sticks a foot in the ground, gets up the field, and that'll be 3rd down and goal from the 2. And Brad, I will ask you to forecast for a play that may not happen. If DePauw does not convert here, are you going for it on the opening drive of the game?
Oh, I think you absolutely are. I mean, what's worst case, you got Liam Thompson with his heels in his own end zone, probably taking a snap. I'll take that all day long and make him go 99 yards. I think this is 2 plays right here for DePauw to try to get 6.
Getting a quick look at Brett Dietz on the sideline. Done a tremendous job in his brief time here in Greencastle. Former quarterback at Hanover College. Hand up, Baumgartner again, 4th down, not necessary. Much like last year, touchdown DePauw to start the game. It is Gus Baumgartner, his 10th of the season.
And I really don't think he could have drawn it up any better for DePauw. We mentioned they would ride Baumgartner, try to keep the ball away from Wabash, some quick passes, and even some jet sweeps, some end rounds. So a nice mix of what you might call short to intermediate plays. Took one chance down the field, resulted in a penalty. Really a perfect script for Brett Dietz and the Tigers.
So 6-0 is the score. Extra point try coming on for Joseph Sullivan. Junior from Cincinnati. McCahill the holder. Snap back, kick up. Looks good, and it is. 7-0 is our score. All right, Steve. Wabash with the answer. How do they go about doing that?
Put the ball in number 2's hands. let him throw the ball. And like I said, Coach Merrill would like to use him running a little bit more this year. Look, he's a really good athlete. Liam Thompson is who I'm referencing. Really good athlete, and he's a really good runner. Coach Merrill's really had to dial him back a little bit. We don't want him running the ball a lot. We don't want him taking hits. Don't want him taking shots. So he's gotten a lot better at giving the ball, a lot better at sliding when he needs to. He's just so competitive. It's hard to get him to do that. But I think, we knew going into this it could be a high-scoring game. And if it continues like this, DePauw really got us on the heels. We've seen our defense on our heels this year before. So see what they can do to tighten up.
Cooper Sullivan back deep to return. Sam Ringer back deep as well. Jack Drake handles the kickoff duties. He and Sullivan kind of split the field goal reps. Drake is the distance kicker, if that is required today. Fair catch. Both teams liking to fair catch the opening kickoff, and that means that the Little Giants will start this drive at their own 25-yard line. Liam Thompson, again, the 3rd-year starter, young man from North Central High School. Again, if he continues on the track that he is on at the end of next year, as you see the scoring drive for the DePauw Tigers. Thompson will likely be not only the all-time leading passer in the history of Wabash College, and that in of itself is a mouthful, but also in the 40-year history of the North Coast Athletic Conference. Those are the numbers that he is putting up. And simply put, they have scored points on everybody this year. Fake the handoff, isolation, tip ball. Pass is tipped.
Well, it's just good pressure that time by the DePauw line, and those are the types of things that they're going to need to have this afternoon if they're going to get Liam Thompson out of a rhythm. You get him in the rhythm, it's dangerous. But these types of things where you can maybe confuse him, you ruin the rhythm with a tip pass, that's big for DePauw.
And as Ethan Lowry, they got his hands in the passing lane. He is one of the key players along that defensive line for DePauw. Snyder is the setback. Again, Thompson fakes this time, no problem. Firing one in the flat. Gang tackled out there by DePauw, but that is Derek Allen, the junior from Warren Central. And if things go well for Wabash, we'll say his name an awful lot today.
Yeah, we certainly will. Look, a lot of a good army of receivers out there between Cooper Sullivan and Derek and Penn Stoller and Heisman Skeens, so he'll spread it out.
Steve gets credit for being the first guy to say Heisman Skeens in the broadcast today. You mentioned the running game of Liam Thompson. Got punished for his efforts, but the rewards were worth it. 5-yard pickup, first down, Little Giants.
It's really an important thing when you're going to do this as a quarterback. Quick recognition. You saw Thompson almost right away, saw there wasn't an option outside, and took it himself for the first down. Quick recognition, quick first down.
Speaking of quick hitter to Allen. Allen makes one defender miss. Can't make the second defender miss. The guy that may have tripped him up was also the guy that he could have beaten on that first play. That's Dane Young on the tackle for DePauw.
Yeah, that certainly didn't look good from the beginning. I mean, you had 3 black jerseys out there, and the fear of mine as a Wabash fan was that may have been considered backwards, and then he drops it.
Really no gain. Second down. Here comes a corner blitz. Thompson recognizes it just in time. Stiff arms another player. Now will fire it and makes the play. And that in a nutshell is what makes Liam Thompson so special. Allen with the catch and across the 50-yard line for Wabash.
That's got to be a sack. I mean, Matthew Coons on a perfect corner blitz coming in there, and the elusiveness that Liam Thompson showed, then the ability to keep the play alive. What a play by number 2. That's got to be a sack, though, for DePauw, coming in with that kind of blindside pressure.
Well, Thompson is famous for his stiff arms in this game. Looks to run on this one, and Thompson will be wrapped up after a gain of 3 or 4. Finds the one remaining pile of snow that we've got, Jake Comer. The sophomore from Danville. He finished his high school days playing for a 3A championship for Jamie Comer at Danville. 2nd down and 7.
And Jake Comer's older brother, Sam, hit 2 free throws at Wabash last night as a junior basketball player to help us put away a win.
Tipped. Good read. Ball knocked away by DePauw. That is Luke Marsh. Speaking of state championship pedigree, he's got a few of them from his days at Western Boone. And on a couple of young defenses, he was a young man that was an impact player for the Tigers a season ago.
Yeah, he really is. That's a great read right there. Probably one Thompson would want to have back. Quick throw and just didn't see Marsh coming over, and that almost was going the other way.
And I think similarly to DePauw's drive, I think this is 2-down territory here, or 4-down territory, however you want to call it.
So 3rd down and 7. The line to gain is the 37-yard line. Tigers bring 3. Thompson surveying, buying time. Will tuck it and run. Will have the first down. Nudged out of bounds by DePauw. That is Joey Rowland, freshman from Greenfield Central, in the tackle. But again, needed 7, got 8. First down, Little Giants.
No pressure right now from DePauw. I mean, they dialed up the blitz on the one play, but Steve, I mean, if the offensive line of Wabash is going to protect like this, it's going to be a long day for DePauw's defense.
Well, they're keeping him in the pocket initially, but he's just good enough to get outside. They needed to get that big sack you talked about earlier, Brad, where they had a chance.
On the handoff note, keeper by Thompson. It's been all Liam Thompson so far. And let's talk defensive philosophy, fellas. And Brad, I'll look at you. I'm not so sure at this level the way to defend Wabash is kind of the Pat Mahomes theory. And that's dropping 7 or 8 guys and have as many guys looking at the quarterback as possible.
Yeah, and then you sprinkle in the blitz at the right time like we saw DePauw try to do. I think that's exactly what you have to do, Greg.
Handoff goes to Snyder. Again, Snyder returning from last year's contest and did not get much. First true running back carry, and for the 2nd time, we call Ethan Lowry's name for the Tigers.
I think the one issue you get into, the one issue DePauw may get into by dropping that many guys, we saw in another play, you give Liam Thompson a lot of time. If you're not going to win with that front 4, we've seen it with Pat Mahomes, right? Like, you're going to get into just a lot of trouble with DePauw.
And Liam had his hand in every play till that one, but we finally, like you said, a true running back play. I mean, Liam's either running or throwing it every play down the field.
Snyder, 589 yards rushing and 11 touchdowns on the season for the young man from Mishawaka. This time Snyder goes right up the gut, both hands covering the football. First down, Little Giants at the 22-yard line.
Yeah, both running backs run similarly. Like, you're going to see both hands. It's old school, right, Brad? Both hands on the ball, lower shoulder. Everything is falling forward and going forward.
I know media guides are a thing from 10 weeks ago, but we're going to see, 10 years ago, we're going to see some shots of the snow in the background. You're going to want to save these photos for years gone by.
That's why they kept some of the snow out there, just for that.
Just for the scenics, as we call them in television. Again, it's Snyder. So we're seeing kind of the first kind of counter here from Wabash. Now they're seeing some defensively. They're going to run the ball up the middle for a few plays.
And both offenses have done a great job of getting the defense on their heels and just really not sure what's coming and off balance.
How about 9 minutes gone already? RPO, quick hitter. Out in the flat, that is Heisman Skeens, young man from Mississinawa. And he will pick up just a yard on the play, and it sets up 3rd and short.
Yeah, DePauw had that covered pretty well. It's a long throw to get just a couple of yards. What you really need there is blocking. DePauw just had numbers simply that overpowered the Wabash offense on that.
Skeens, a senior. So 3rd down and 3. Wabash has not kicked many field goals this year, not because they don't have a confident kicker, because their offense has been that good. Thompson again will tuck it and run, loses the football. DePauw's got it. It'll be a drive that ends in no points as Thompson is not sacked, but tackled, loses the ball. And the man that's got the ball in his hands is Luke Marsh.
Yeah, you see right here, Thompson kind of was in between deciding to tuck it and run, maybe still looking for a pass, and as he tucked that ball down, was hit by the DePauw defender, and it knocked that football out. Maybe it's a cold a little bit too. We mentioned none of these teams have even practiced in this weather yet. That's not a mistake you see often from Liam Thompson, and a big play for DePauw.
The hits combined by Ethan Lowry. We've talked about him a lot. How about David Gould, the defensive end from Cathedral? Those two combined to make the play. And fellas, whoever wins the turnover battle is probably going to win this football game. So nearly 10 minutes in already. Handoff. Baumgartner stuck. Gain a minimal one. Joe Rios. Again, we're going to call several defensive names often for Wabash. Franco Rios right up there with him.
It's a nice hit by Rios. He's warm. He's good. Colt's not impacting him. We've called his name a few times.
Well, you know, defenses talk about these turnovers, right? Sudden change as a defense. You got to go out there and make it stop right now.
Play clock at 15, so plenty of time for DePauw to take a look towards the sidelines and get a play call set. Again, it's Baumgartner. And Baumgartner runs to a couple of tackles, bounces it outside. That's going to be a first down and more. However, there was a pretty obvious hold that the official close to the play didn't see, but the official behind the play did. And for those that are new to watching this game, not only do I have Brad and Steve representing their schools, but my partner in Steve Hoffman is an IHSAA referee, had the Cathedral Brownsburg game last night. So he is our analyst. He is also our Mike Pereira, and he was calling that as it was happening.
Holding on the offense, number 14. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay, second down.
Now, the good news is for DePauw, you don't get 30 yards, but it also happened about 15 yards down the field. So it'll now be second down and 2 at the 28-yard line.
Yeah, that was a pretty good hold. It happened for about 5 yards in about 8 seconds. So as officials, we say we don't want to call a hold unless your mother can see it sitting up in the stands. I think that one would have been seen.
Second and 2. 6 in the box here for Wabash. It's Moore, and Moore does just enough, makes guys miss. Wasn't a great run, but needed to get the nose of the football to the 30. He does just that. First down, Tigers.
Yeah, that's all DePauw needs is to move the chains. Tough play on the last one, but like you mentioned, Rake, I mean, DePauw still got some positive yardage out of it with the hold being downfield. And the chains move for the Tigers again. Coming off the turnover here, if you can string together a couple of first downs at worst and flip the field, that's a win for DePauw.
Hey, and we let that hold kind of overshadow Baumgartner's run on that. I mean, it was impressive. Yep. He got away from a few people who were around his feet and just kind of tucked it in and again, a big gain, so he's impressive.
To give you an idea how much the ground game has been a part of this game plan, Rennie just threw his second pass of the game. Catch is made out to the 35-yard line. Receiver is Jalen Smith, his 28th catch of the season. Now again, there was also one passing play that got called back because of pass interference, but as expected, and this is not a knock on Rennie. Again, I think this is offense playing defense as much as anything. It's been ground and pound so far for DePauw.
He can throw the ball down the field, and we'll see that, I'm sure, at some point. But right now, you're moving the chains. That was basically just a run to the outside. DePauw will take it 6 yards on first down.
Fake the handoff. Rennie on the keeper. And Rennie gets a yard, and that's it. Tackle made behind the play by Owen Volk, young man from Roncalli High School.
And this is a play you're hoping to set up with those jet sweeps that you've run to Quigley if you're DePauw. A couple of nice runs he had on that play early in the first drive. This time you're hoping the quarterback can keep it, and Wabash did a great job staying home on defense, not biting on the fake.
Great thing about small college football, it moves quickly. We are 12 minutes in. We've been playing for about 20 minutes of real time. 3rd and 4 coming up here for the Tigers.
Helps we have two pretty efficient offenses, too. Not a lot of incomplete passes.
There may not be many possessions in this game. It's going back and forth. Blitz coming. 5-man rush out in the flat and diving effort. No. Quigley could not hang on to it. And do we see the punt team come on for the first time? Certainly appears that way for DePauw.
It's exactly what you want to do if you're Wabash. Try to get some quick pressure right there and force a fast throw. He was open, Quigley was, but the throw was quick, and it forced an incompletion.
Well, yeah, forced him to throw a little earlier than he wanted to on that outcut.
And credit to Wabash, Steve. After the turnover, defense finds a way to get the stop.
Yeah, when I coached, we said on when the offense turned it over, sudden change, we all yelled it, and that's exactly what you need to do.
Drake, a booming kick. fair catch called for back at the 15-yard line. That is a 49-yard punt and a 49-yard net. And let's note, again, you and I were at high school football games last night. Wind was a factor last night, not so much today. It's just cold out here.
It is cold, and the wind has died down. The other difference I noticed between high school quarterbacks throwing in the wind and college quarterbacks is their arms aren't as strong, and so it does affect high school quarterbacks more. But man, it certainly didn't affect that punt. That was impressive, right into the teeth of the breeze.
Quick look at the starting offense for Wabash. Thompson fakes the handoff, has 3 options. Buying time, going sandlot football now, and my goodness.
That's a heck of a throw.
That's as impressive of an incompletion as you're ever going to see. Good luck trying to defend that long term.
He has, over the years, we can see he's getting a stronger arm, a tighter spiral, but a quicker release at the same time. So he just looks, and as I said before the game, the game has slowed down for him a little bit, and you can see it on these plays. He's just in control, even on a play like that. That is tough on the DePauw secondary, Brad, and that was impressive coverage.
Starters for DePauw's defense flying by on your screen. 4-man rush. Thompson looks, fires, finds his man. That'll be a first down, steered out of bounds. That'll be Cooper Sullivan, and he is one of the handful of young men from Jacksonville, Florida. Steve, explain the tie from the Bulls School to Crawfordsville, Indiana.
Well, not a big tie, except that we got a couple guys in 1 year, and then you know how it goes. It happens at these small schools, and you get kind of a trickle. Somebody follows them because the kids both of these schools get are usually leaders in their high schools. Others follow them. We have had 4 starters on the field from that school.
Handoff goes to Snyder. He is met after a gain of 2 and knocked backwards. David Gould makes the play, and Brad on that flip side as well. I know one of their defensive starters is from Woodstock, Georgia, so mostly Indiana kids, but not exclusively at these 2 great schools.
Yeah, I think most of those guys probably didn't come up for the Monon Bell game. They probably came up in August, right, to watch
Exactly.
games up here. But, you know, there is occasionally, you see kids from Arizona, from Florida, from Georgia. I mean, these are 2 nationally known schools, so they're going to draw from across the country at times.
A second and long. Again, Tigers bring 4, 1 man unblocked. And Thompson hits the open receiver on the sideline. Effective pressure that time by DePauw, and it was Jake Comer that made Thompson throw it away.
Yeah, it's interesting though, when you watch the pressure here, you see just right there, the hesitation. See that? Normally you want to go, but Liam Thompson is such a threat with his legs. DePauw, a little bit of hesitation. If that blitz goes 100% the whole time, that's probably a sack right there.
I think that's frankly the effective way to blitz him, though, is kind of a one-man blitz.
Yeah.
And see if you can get the offensive line to miss where the blitzer is coming from. Need to get this football to the 41-yard line to Thompson. Again, it's just 3 that rush the quarterback. Thompson, now there's a spy waiting on him. He'll get yardage, but he'll be taken down. That spy was Luke Marsh that made the tackle.
Marsh is having an absolute outstanding first quarter. He made a nice hit 2 plays ago. He obviously had the fumble recovery, the spy right there on Thompson. So number 8 in black and gold is having a great first quarter on defense.
Steve, this is a story. Wabash is likely going to put a 0 on the board in a quarter. There have not been many quarters all season long where that's been the case for the Little Giants.
Yeah, if you want to draw it up like DePauw would like this game to go, and Brad mentioned it before the game, you want to keep the ball, you want to get the clock down, you want to get the stops when you need to. It's exactly what they did. So it has not happened often.
Brigham Anderson, who will handle the kicking duties as well, gets the kick away. Trent Bythe from Center Grove High School will catch it at the 33-yard line. And if the next play is a rushing play for the Tigers, that will be it and all for quarter number 1.
Yeah, probably pretty good odds it will be, the way DePauw has run the ball. And I think it's just more the same if you're the Tigers. You know, you got stopped on that last possession, but you still picked up 1 first down. We've seen the short passing game work. We've seen the jet sweeps. We've seen Bumgarner with some nice runs. So more of the same likely for the Tigers as they come out here with their 3rd possession.
Baumgartner so far 7 carries for 35 yards and a touchdown. Ready? Quarterback draw. Not much there. Gain is minimal. Tackle made almost immediately by Cade Lansdell, the senior from Center Grove.
Yeah, that's another way to get yards. Spread them out with the quarterback and try to use the draw.
Yeah, and if a quarterback can run, and both of these quarterbacks can, man, that puts additional pressure on the defenses.
You'll see Rennie head back to the huddle, but I don't think they'll get this play off in time. We are moving on to quarter number 2. 7-0 is our score after 15 minutes of football. Tigers have the lead. They'll have the ball when we come back. You are watching the 128th Monon Bell Classic from Greencastle here on the ISC Sports Network.
Media, timeout.
The world around us is changing, and so DePauw, like any other school, needs to continue to evolve. That's why I am so excited about the School of Business and Leadership combined with a liberal arts education. Very few schools in the entire world can do those two things well at one time. DePauw's been doing it well for a long time. Now we're formalizing it. I think that DePauw has been, and I am confident will, create the leaders the world really needs.
What a gorgeous day. I could use it to be a little warmer or potentially be inside the press box instead of on top of it. But the setting is beautiful. I remember coming to this stadium for the first time about 3 or 4 weeks ago and actually looking the opposite direction of our broadcast location and seeing the wonderful menagerie of the fall colors in West Central Indiana. Again, both these campuses are beautiful in their own way. And we appreciate you joining us on the ISC Sports Network alongside Steve Hoffman and Brad Wakamerka. My name is Greg Rakestraw. It is 2nd down and 9 coming up for DePauw. They lead 7-0. Handoff up the middle. That is Baumgartner, and he'll pick up 5 yards. Again, just to set the scene, the Monon Bell needs no added motivation for either side. It and of itself is what dictates the other 364 days. But winner gets the North Coast Athletic Conference Championship. Winner moves on to the Division III playoffs, and that was DePauw last year. Despite losing at Wabash, they won the league title and won a playoff game against Rose-Hulman.
It's crazy, too. These two teams have never played with a conference title on the line. Because they haven't been in the same conference through most of their history, but still crazy to think that that's possible here today.
3rd down and 4. Yeah, they played together in the 70s for 5 years, in the ICAC for a decade, and now in the North Coast. And now we have ourselves a timeout, and we will step away. 14-13 left to go in the second quarter. DePauw 7, Wabash nothing. We're back after this on the ISC Sports Network.
DePauw is a perfect balance of academics, athletics, and still being able to have a social life and be involved on campus.
So I think the DePauw Alumni Network has also mentored me to really find my passions after graduation. Both my internship at Salesforce and at Delta were both in finance, and I'm battling between what company I want to choose to go into after graduation right now.
Wabash wants you to think for yourself, always. That's why our graduates achieve in every field. In top-ranked degree programs across the board, personalized teaching and mentoring make a huge difference toward your future success. Our classroom experience is one of the best in the country, and the average class size is 13. So you really get to know your professors and classmates. We don't simply attend class, we engage in it. You can learn anywhere. Come to Wabash, learn more.
I want to take this moment to thank our wonderful ISC Sports Network crew, Jordan Shue, Sean Walker, Adam Phipps. Thank you to Becca Kelly, Eldon Wheeler, Dylan Lax, Ryan Pierce, Alan Hughes, Rob Lynch, and Jamie Owens. A little extra effort required with the snowy conditions earlier, but no place that we'd rather be on this Saturday afternoon. Play clock is at 7. 3rd down and 4. Snap in time, 4-man rush. Moretti rolls, looks for an open man. Nothing, just throws it away.
Yeah, that's tough for DePauw. You come out of the quarter and you run one play, then you call a timeout, you see something you don't like, and you drop a play that, frankly, it just didn't work. That looked like on the right side, or on the near side here, that was just kind of a quick 5-yard hitch and stop. Both guys hitched, both guys stopped. Neither guy was open. That play just didn't work for the Tigers.
So here comes the punt unit on, and We thought this was going to be a high-scoring game. We've had one touchdown in 16 minutes. Again, you always expect the unexpected in the Bell game. DePauw's a man short. Ballantyne will hustle out there. Play clock is at 9, so he's got time.
And Drake, he really is a weapon. He's got a big leg. We saw it in his first punt, but he is one of the best punters in all of Division III.
Not on that one.
Nope. I shouldn't have said anything.
Talking about the no-hitter, Brad.
Broadcaster jinx works even when you broadcast one game a year. That ball at the 30-yard line. So the punt, not a great one, and Wabash will take over. But again, the story so far, 2 drives, no points for Wabash, and that has not been the norm for this Little Giants offense this year.
No, you know, the first drive was impressive, going right down the field before Liam fumbled the ball up, but and then punting the next time. This is a fun game to watch so far, you know, back and forth. Some people both trying to run the ball a little differently than each other, but still trying to run just the same.
Snyder, great job by the left side of the offensive line. Outstanding open field tackle, that time by Jonathan Bruder, sophomore from Centerville, Ohio. But Snyder still picks up 5.
That's probably a 20-yard run, maybe more if Bruder would make this tackle. That was a really nice move by Snyder. Great open field tackle by Bruder. Still, though, a nice gain on first down.
And again, it's not as if Wabash can't run the football. It's just that Thompson has been so electric all year. That's always where your attention tends to go. They'll hand off to Snyder again, and he'll get nothing. Again, it's David Gould.
Right, you got DePauw trying to run the ball, open up the pass. Wabash just the opposite, trying to pass to open up the run to Snyder, or I would say Liam, the Liam keeper, trying to open it up for Snyder on that read option. And, you know, Snyder's had some big holes to run through here, but big third down coming right now.
3rd down and 5. It's a 3-man front that is played by DePauw, but those guys have been making plays on the regular. Thompson slings it behind the intended target. Incomplete pass.
Well, small window there, but Liam is not happy with himself. He'll normally make that play.
That is Penn Stoller. Let's see if that ball was tipped. It was. Yeah. Credit to the DePauw linebacker. That's Joey Rowland that made the play.
You know, I'm guessing that they coached that because that's twice the first play of the game for Wabash. The ball got knocked down pretty severely, but there another tip. So they may have worked on stopping your rush, right, and getting your hands up. You see defenses do that.
And Rowland was standing there as a spy. That's all he was doing. He was just watching Thompson, right place, right time.
I also think Liam is pretty generously listed at 6'1", and the punting game has gone haywire for both teams quickly. And again, you just have not been able to replicate these weather conditions all season long. That kick, maybe 15 yards.
Yeah, great field position for DePauw here.
You said haywire for both teams. This is a little bigger of a haywire than DePauw punt haywire, but man, what was that? 15-yarder.
So at the 48-yard line here for the Tigers. Baumgartner, again, has gotten the majority of the reps so far. Drew Moore has been in for a couple of plays. But Baumgartner has been the primary weapon. 8 carries, 40 yards, right at 5-yard average. He'll get the handoff here again, and he'll get 3 this time. And you also saw Wabash start to walk a few more players up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, but for DePauw, again, you can get 3-4 yards a pop. You're going to stick with it, and that short passing game. You know, you think at some point we may see the Tigers throw the ball down the field, and that's what they're trying to do. Set that pass up with the short runs like that, and again, just keep the ball away from Liam Thompson.
That was Stephen Thomas. That was the man on the tackle for Wabash. Again, it's Baumgartner, and this time he finds a seam. He's got a first down. Wrestled down after a gain of 10 yards. Tackle made by Vaughn Taylor.
And this is why they love Quigley, that tight end. This time he lined up as a wingback on the left side, came over, and you'll see him get a great seal block right there, boom. And that's the hole for Baumgartner. That's a great block leading to a first down.
As a man that works for the Colts, I cannot tell you how much I miss seeing that block
right?
every Sunday.
Is that the Jack Doyle?
That's no longer a Wham block. That's a Doyle block now all throughout central Indiana. So ball at the 34-yard line. That carry for Baumgartner officially goes for 11. Again, it's Baumgartner. Just follows his lead. And it may not be pretty to some, but again, 4 yards and 5 yards every touch. That's exactly what Brett Dietz wants to see from his team today.
Absolutely. Just follow the snow line right here, right? We've got the one line of snow just going down that far hash and just keep going right down the line, 3-4 yards a pop. And the offensive line for DePauw, we haven't really spoken about them much, but they've done a great job early in this game to open up those holes.
By the way, quickly on those Wabash helmets, there's no W today. That is in recognition of the way the helmets looked in 1977 when the Little Giants reached the Stag Bowl, the Division III championship game some 45 years ago. 2nd and 6 on the rollout, catch made. Good job to come back to the ball. Oftentimes as a receiver, when you do that, in Trey Shaw, you're giving up the first down. But he did that to beat the defender to the ball. That was well done by Shaw. DePauw moves it again.
It's a great route tree. Jalen Smith on top, too, was running a corner route, and he was open potentially for even a larger pickup. But that time there, Elder Rennie was able to take the check down, still get the first down to Shaw, and a nice play to break out of that tackle and move the chains.
If he doesn't break that, he doesn't get that first down, so big run. Additionally, the Wabash uniforms, Kevin Clifford, class of 77, big inspiration behind that, and was the major donor in our the new Little Giant Stadium a couple years ago as well.
Love the bell on the shoulder pads, too, on the shoulder there. That's a really cool touch to have the Monon Bell on the uniform.
First down, at the 23-yard line. A bit of a wobbler that Shaw is able to catch. Makes a defender miss. Still going. End zone. Touchdown. DePauw Tigers.
That's just a great individual one-on-one effort by Trey Shaw. He is an electric receiver, the senior out of Brazil, Indiana. He's been in this game. He's been in some big moments. Just watch him here running away from 2, 3, 4 white shirts, and he scores a huge touchdown for DePauw.
For Shaw, that is his 6th receiving touchdown of the season. Northview High School. And we are starting to see snowballs rain down, and we kind of figured that would happen at some point in time, and I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of an official's admonishment to make sure that that does not happen.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. I mean, look, there's parts of this rivalry that make it a rivalry, right? But, you know, if you're DePauw, you just scored a touchdown, you've got momentum, let your guys kick the extra point, right? I mean, come on, the fans got to be a little bit better than this.
So literally, Coach Dietz is going to walk towards those stands and basically say, knock it off.
Yeah.
Yep, for him.
So he is telling his players going to the bench. Don Morrell talking to his young men on the field right now.
Officials timeout.
And again, the officials timeout. Message has been conveyed. DePauw leads at 13-0, extra point pending.
Yeah, I mean, definitely not anything any of us would have done at school as college students, I'm sure, in this game. But hey, you know what? It's a little extra environment. Snow. We haven't played this game in snow in 25 years. You got some students kind of juiced up, excited. All the DePauw fans there after their team goes up with their 2nd touchdown. But still, good job by Coach Dietz to go over there. Hopefully we don't see that again in this game and we can put it behind us.
And, you know, it's a different environment these kids don't play in all year. Now they have a bunch of people behind an end zone.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? It's usually open behind the end zones in all the games we play in this year. So adds a little bit to the fans, a little bit of change up for the fans as well.
So Sullivan on for the extra point try. McCahill, the sophomore from Cathedral, holder, kicked up, and this one is good. Well, it was 21-0 last year, so let me start with this. Steve, is that being discussed on the Wabash sideline right now?
No, it doesn't need to be discussed. I think the Wabash sideline is now, look, let's just do our job, because typically when things aren't going well, guys aren't doing their job. If you look at defense and you watch film, you say, just do your job. Don't try to do too much, which we see in games like this. People get out of their role, out of their lane, if you will, and try to do what they don't normally try to do in these big games. So I think it's just calming down. We know we can score points. Let's just do our job and get the ball down the field here.
On the flip side, where does DePauw go to school on what happened last year in this game leading 21-0?
I was about to say, I can tell you where it is being discussed, on the DePauw sideline. This is a 0-0 game right now, and it should be, and it needs to be if it's in their minds, because not just what you saw last year, but number 2 is still over there wearing that white and red. Liam Thompson, the most dangerous player maybe in all of Division III football. So this game is far from over as we saw last year, and DePauw knows that, and they should be talking about it on the sidelines.
First 2 kickoffs we've seen in this game have both led to not touchbacks, but fair catches. And you'll have some coaches that will simply say, hey, well, listen, we got to work on, less risk for injury, automatic fair catch.
Coach Morrell is one of those, as you can see.
And fair catch is made by Cooper Sullivan. And here comes a couple more snowballs.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to stop completely throughout the course of the game, unless there's fans not sitting there at some point in the game.
Yeah.
Quick look at the scoring drive for DePauw.
For administration, if another snowball is thrown onto the field from the south end zone, we will pause the game and clear everybody out. No more snowballs on the field, please, or we will clear the whole stands. Thank you.
Again, that's our referee and Jamie Harding, and we could be seeing that at some point sooner rather than later.
He may have wished he wouldn't have made such a clear statement if there was one more snowball, because what do you do if one comes out now and lands right by him?
You potentially also maybe even switch ends of the field.
I saw that happen in the late 80s. It wasn't because of snowballs, it was because a fight broke out in the stands when the fans used to sit together in the end zone, and it kind of spilled out into the end zone, and so they had to move the extra point from one end to the other.
Right. So if we can keep the focus here on the field.
Yep.
So again, one drive by Wabash ended with a fumble in the red zone. Other two have been stopped, but with punts. And another outstanding play by this defense. Tackle made that time by DePauw. Marcus Childs, young man from Fort Worth, Texas.
Just a freshman as well. Maybe the first time he's ever played in snow, coming from Texas. This DePauw defense, it's amazing. You read through the two deep, not just the starters. There's only one senior on the two deep.
And he's a reserve.
Absolutely. This is a very inexperienced DePauw defense. Well, not inexperienced. A lot of them played last year, but young DePauw defense.
Second down and 11. Again, blitz coming. Wabash picks it up. Thompson avoids pressure, runs away, and again, on a play where she should have been sacked, other quarterbacks would be, he still picks up 5 yards. It's 3rd and 6.
But see, I see that as a win for the DePauw defense, because he's got time, and what you're worried about is the big play downfield. He runs for a 4-yard gain, he gets hit a little bit. I think that's a win for the DePauw defense.
Yeah, I agree, Steve. And the DePauw linemen are doing a good job of kind of staying in their lanes, not over pursuing. So yeah, Liam Thompson maybe get a couple yards, but they're there to make that tackle and keep it at 3 instead of 7 or 8.
This DePauw defense has 4 shutouts on their resume this year. A dropped pass by Wabash. That's Jacob Riddle that couldn't hang on to it. That would have been for a first down, and offense heading to the sidelines. Punt team isn't coming on just yet. Now they will.
Yeah, you watch the replay here. This is a ball that's just up. Riddle's not very tall, 5'8". If he's 5'9", 5'10", he might grab that one. Ball was there. Riddle kind of stopped in his route because he saw the DePauw defender, and I think that might have stopped his momentum so he couldn't get in there and make that catch in rhythm.
I would say Riddle thinks he should have made the catch. I would say Liam thinks he should have made a better throw.
The 4 shutouts for DePauw, the most they have had in a season since the late 40s. Low line drive kick, and Vythe will simply watch it roll towards the sidelines. Out of bounds, and DePauw will start this drive just shy of the 30-yard line. And again, Brad, this is 4-minute drill time for the DePauw Tigers.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we've seen the runs effectively with Baumgartner. The line's done a great job of blocking. Again, the short passes, and those short passes sure look great when you have receivers like Shaw that can turn them into big plays like we saw on the touchdown. So this is a DePauw offense right now that's really clicking and hasn't really had to open up the playbook much.
No, because one of the players who hasn't really been called much today is Jalen Smith, and Coach Murrell called him probably the fastest guy in the NCAC.
Smith is the receiver lined up at the bottom of your screen. They're going to hand off to Baumgartner, has a seam, has a first down, taken down at the 46-yard line, a pickup of 18 yards.
There we go. DePauw again on the ground with Baumgartner. Those guys up front are just getting some massive blocks. We have not seen a lot of pressure from the interior of the Wabash defensive line.
Up front, it is McCormick, Amons, Smith, Martin, and Kaufman. Kaufman, the right tackle, sizable young man from Cathedral, coming back from an injury, just got cleared to return this week. Again, it's Baumgartner. And again, big yardage, just shy of the first down. They may go ahead and give him forward progress and give it to him, a gain of 10. Move the chains, first down DePauw.
There we go. There's nothing special about this. This is man on man, one good cut and go, and Baumgartner falling forward for a few extra yards. DePauw doing everything they want on offense right now.
Drew Moore will come in to spell him on this play. Moore this year has 4 touchdowns, 333 yards rushing. Different running back, same general result. Moore will be taken down after a gain of 6, maybe 7.
Yeah, and one of the terms that both Coach Morrell and I think you did, Brad, before the broadcast used was downhill. Their downhill running of DePauw is very good. Everything is working downhill. That means they're gaining yards as they're running the ball, nothing too laterally. And it's exactly what we're seeing, keeping Wabash defense on their heels here.
So 2nd down and 4. Play clock is at 18. And again, DePauw is trying to probably take as much time off the play clock as possible, trying to shorten the amount of times they have to defend a Liam Thompson-led offense. That formula clearly has worked so far. Again, the handoff to Moore, and Moore will have the first down. Rinse and repeat right now for the DePauw Tigers.
When you're getting first downs every other play, you're not taking a lot of time off the clock in college football, but no, DePauw is happy to continue to move the chains, and both running backs now getting it all. This is huge, gives Baumgartner a rest, and you still move the football.
The ball at the 31-yard line. Moore, and this time he will spin off a tackler. He will pick up 3. A little late contact there, but nothing comes of that from a penalty standpoint. It's been a very lightly flagged game so far.
Yeah, and you know your running game is going well when you're getting a play that doesn't look like it goes anywhere and you get 3 yards, because that means the offensive line is getting some movement and they're winning the battle up front.
So far, the play distribution, 23 runs, 6 passes so far for DePauw.
That's the Wabash defense fear that DePauw is having success on the ground.
6 in the box. Ready, looks to throw on the seam pattern, and he's trying to get Jalen Smith involved, but he and Smith not on the same page. It'll be 3rd down, running now 4 of 7 for 51 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, just a miscommunication there. No question about that. It looked like there was some space.
Now, Brad, as a DePauw fan, do you see that and say, just keep running the ball?
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you do.
Yeah, the way they're moving the ball, it's tough to say, maybe until you get stopped 1 yard or no gain, why not keep pounding the football there? Don't mind as much because it looked like it was supposed to be a pretty short, quick pass. I think that's okay, but still, the way they've been running, Steve, you're right.
Yeah, and likely in 4th down territory here as well.
Yeah.
Running, again in the flat, catch made. Quigley, progress was stopped a yard shy. Looking at a 39-yard field goal. Or given the way you're running the ball, go for it on 4th and 1.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I mean, you can open the playbook here, too. I mean, they've been effective passing in the short pass game, but here, gosh, you got to think 1 yard the way they've been running the ball. Give and move the chains.
Evan Borer will come in as an extra blocking back. Young man from Zionsville. So we need to get the football to just shy of the 21-yard line. Quigley, the man in motion. Baumgartner, first down. Wasn't a big gain, but didn't need to be a big gain. Again, you see a couple of guys start flying at the end of the play. Last man to get up for DePauw was Adam Ammons from North Putnam. First down, Tigers at the 20-yard line.
And with all the rushing attempts DePauw's had, I'm not sure there has been a negative yards rushing attempt unless it's been by the quarterback or on a scramble that I've seen so far today. I might be wrong, but so with the offensive line push they're getting, that's what you do right there. Hand it to Baumgartner, let him go.
And again, Borer will stay in as the blocking back. Blitz coming. Man-on-man coverage looking for Shaw, and not enough in that. Little contact, but again, not enough there. And Brad, you alluded to it earlier. Certainly, Jose Franco was on the radar. Brett Dietz coming in, best cornerback for Wabash.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of experience. He's played a long time, coming back for another year, which some players were able to do with COVID. So senior here, he's got a lot of games under his belt, played a lot as a freshman.
The term super senior has been invented because of the COVID pandemic. Of course, we did not play this rivalry game in 2020. Made last year all the more special. Baumgartner runs through a couple of tacklers. Right at about the first down marker, should be about a yard shy, but the yardage continues to pile up. 3rd down and 1.
And if we go back one play, I think you see why DePauw dialed up a deep shot in the end zone on first down, because they know they can move the ball. 2nd and 10, they pick up 9 yards on the ground. I mean, really, everything is working ground game-wise for DePauw right now, so why not on first down take a deep shot or two?
Right.
You potentially have a free play here on 3rd down and 1.
I think you do, yeah.
Down to 5 minutes and less left to go. Well, they'll take the sure thing, so to speak.
Which is, again, playing keep away a little bit too. So maybe you don't want to score too quick.
Baumgartner has already cleared 100 yards rushing in this game.
Wow.
16 carries in the first 25 minutes of the contest. 16 for 103. First and goal. Can history repeat itself in terms of DePauw racing out to a 21-0 lead in the Bell game?
Wabash defense stepping a bunch of guys up on the line of scrimmage here.
That number is 6. Fake the handoff to Moore. Rennie reads that defense will keep, and he will slide down, and that was not to give himself up. That was Frank not to take a pretty good wallop from Franco on that play. That'll be really no gain, second down.
Yeah, it keeps the clock rolling too by staying in bounds there. But you know, I think it's amazing what we've seen Baumgartner do with still 4 minutes to go in the first half. This guy that runs the ball well, but 67 yards a game. I mean, it helps kind of spread that offense and balance that offense out. But this is by no means a rush-heavy offense. It's just worked to perfection here today.
Moore stood up after a gain of maybe 1. And again, now that you've got less ground to cover, Wabash can obviously put more guys inside of the box, and those rushing lanes are starting to close a little bit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the Wabash defense does in the middle of the field next time DePauw gets the ball and trying to get some more folks in the box to stop this running game. You cannot allow DePauw to keep running up and down the field like this. Make them put the ball in the air a little bit as well.
This would be really interesting. I think if DePauw gets this inside the 5, they really think about potentially going for it on 4th down, but no gain, probably kick the field goal. So a big play right here on 3rd.
It's Gavin Rupert in on the tackle for Wabash. 2 wide each side. Timeout going to be called by DePauw. The play clock was at 4. So second timeout. We will keep it right here. Brad.
Timeout. DePauw. That is their second of the half.
I'll have you put on your offensive coordinator hat, which you are one for, I think, your son's 4th grade football team right now.
So mixed
clearly,
results.
Qualifications have been lessened these days for coaching responsibilities. So, offense coordinator, job here is yours. What are you calling here?
I think I'm looking for, we got your wide receivers are spread out. Some kind of quick hitter, slant, maybe a quick hitch, something into the end zone here. And that way you know for sure, hey, if you don't get it in the end zone, you're kicking the field goal here. Because if you get 3 or 4 yards, you got a tough call on what to do on 4th down. But I'm looking to spread the offense out, spread the receivers out. The one guy you have with size is Quigley, the tight end. So maybe you throw something up to him, or you look to a quick slant to one of the outside receivers.
You do quick hitter, or do you do more of a play action since you've had success running the ball a little bit, maybe selling Baumgartner, getting the linebacker step out?
I think you go quick based on where you are. I think you might run out of room by the time you do that play fake. So I think they go quick, look for a little quick slant, or throw something up to Quigley.
152 yards rushing already in this game for DePauw. 37 offensive snaps, averaging 5.5 yards a carry. Yards per play in this game for Wabash, it is under 4. DePauw averaging right at 6 yards a snap.
Steve, maybe the one thing you could see is, a real slow play fake to Baumgartner and let Rennie roll out with it and run, like a kind of a designed quarterback run, see if he's got some open field and get, again, I think inside that maybe 3-yard line, probably going to go for it on 4th down.
Yeah, I do like them keeping the ball in Rennie's hands if I'm a DePauw fan. I agree.
If you go for a field goal, if you don't get it here, it is already a 3-score game heading into halftime. Blitz coming. Rennie reads. Throws. Quigley. Got it.
There we go.
Touchdown. An extra point away from being exactly where the Tigers were a year ago, albeit in that game in Crawfordsville, it is 20-0 DePauw.
Well, he's your one receiver with size at 6'3", and I said maybe look to throw it up to Quigley. That time, just a nice out route, a well-designed passing tree right there, and Quigley open, uses the body right there to box out that size for the touchdown.
Well, unfortunately, there were more snowballs that were sent at the direction of the Wabash players, and so I'm not sure if they're going to clear the entirety of the stands or just try to remove some selected fans, but we are going to have a pause in the action because of some snowballs that were sent in from that end of the stadium, which is obviously a predominantly DePauw section. We've got the 2 stands at the north end that are split in the corners between DePauw fans and Wabash fans. That is an all DePauw end zone. And looks like we're going to at least try to continue to play, but Those conversations are being had now in terms of saying, hey, enough.
And going back to that play, what Quigley did really well was come back to the ball. It was thrown not really short because on the out cut, but he did stop and come back to the ball because it really wasn't bad coverage.
Yeah, that's just, you have a guy with size, Quigley 6'3", about 220. Use that size really, really well. Good timing too, but to block out the defender, it was good coverage, Steve, and just a really good play call and design and execution by DePauw.
You'll see this ball head towards your living room momentarily. This is Sullivan, and the extra point kick is up and good. Now that you can throw back, the snowballs you can keep. 21-0 is the score, and obviously we have referenced that numerous times from last year. However, by halftime of last year's game, it was back to 21-14. All that momentum was on the side of the Little Giants. So simply put, Steve, is this a must-score drive for Wabash?
I don't know if it's a must score. It's a very sorely needed to score drive to get some momentum going. Other than the first drive where we went right down the field, really haven't had anything going on offense. So really need to just piece some things together. Maybe a chunk play or two would be nice. Some decent gain, but it'd be nice to get some things going other than having to have Liam Thompson either run the ball or throw the ball, get some more running game going as well.
Thompson right now 5 of 11 passing for 40 yards.
Yeah.
And frankly, part of that story isn't just the minimal amount of yards that he's had, but his completion percentage, because part of what has made Thompson's season all the more remarkable, his completion percentage is like mid 70% at this point.
And he's had a lot of time with his rolling out his scrambling, and the DePauw secondary and the coverage has been really phenomenal, not letting him go anywhere.
In other words, Coach Dietz could be building a monster with this defense here in Greencastle. It is going to be a return kick this time. Cooper Sullivan will bring it out. And that is our first kick return of the game.
The rare return on the year for Wabash, actually.
Necessity is the mother of invention at times when you're down 21-0.
Yeah.
See if you can spring a big play on special teams.
I feel like maybe this is when Liam Thompson gets really dangerous because the clock's going to dictate the pace now, right? I mean, you got to go kind of quick, 2:54. You got 3 timeouts, so, there's still plenty of time to get down the field, but probably going to see a little more hurry up, get Liam Thompson in his element. This is a big drive for Wabash because they get the ball to start the second half, too. So you put points on the board here, entirely different ball game starting the second half.
So 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. 4-man rush. Thompson steps up, looks, throws, looking for Sullivan, and threw him just a little bit wide. That was Coons. That was in coverage.
And again, I've been really impressed with DePauw's pass coverage, even when he has time to throw, and he had a pretty good time there, too, in the pocket.
By the way, a special hello to one of your classmates at DePauw, a great friend of both of ours, Chris May, enjoying the broadcast someplace warmer than Greencastle today.
Is he retired? What's he? Somewhere warm now. His basketball Hall of Fame career done. What a great guy, Chris May.
Member of No Shoes Nation, wherever he is.
Yeah.
2nd and 10, and Thompson really kind of hit as he threw it. You can see him kind of shake that right arm after he released it. So those numbers now for Thompson dropped to 5 of 13. It's 3rd and 10.
Do have to give Chris a shout out for all the great work he did at the Indiana High School Basketball Hall of Fame, though, and enjoying that warm weather somewhere for sure. Fellow DePauw alum.
Class of 2004, such as yourself, correct?
Correct, that is correct.
3rd down and 10. Two deep safeties back. Really a 2-man rush, and it's Good that's playing as a spy. And Thompson just kind of surveying and waiting. Now throwing the deep ball, looking for Allen, and couldn't get there in time.
You saw me point. I was pointing to Cooper Sullivan, came open at the top, but it's just tough to see everybody back there. Very interesting there. 2-man rush, let him run around, we'll stay deep. It worked.
That was backyard football, right? I was just standing there, you go, now someone come open, and they almost had it here with Allen.
1 battleship, 2 battleship, 3 battleship.
There you go.
So that was really a 5-man pattern on 8 or 9 defensive players for DePauw. And again, we made kind of the Mahomes defense reference early. It's exactly how DePauw is playing it.
And this is exactly sort of a turnover what you wanted for DePauw because you've got plenty of time now to move this ball yourself.
This kick better than the last, still not great. Vyth will make the over-the-shoulder catch at the 40-yard line. So a punt of 33 yards. by Brigham Anderson and no return.
You know, we're looking at Wabash getting the ball with under 3 minutes. Like, hey, there's plenty of time to get them to go down the field. Now DePauw has the ball with still 2:24 left in the half on their own 40, and the Wabash defense hasn't stopped them recently.
Let's note that DePauw, though, has just one timeout remaining. They had to use one right at the beginning of this quarter. Used one down in the red zone before the 3rd and goal call on the last drive.
Well, and you don't want to turn the ball over here, obviously, and give Liam Thompson a short field. Wouldn't be surprised to see DePauw stay with the running game, couple of plays, see if they can move the sticks, and then if they can get into the Wabash side of the field, maybe they open the ball up with the last minute or so of the half.
Again, it's the handoff. Again, Baumgartner. And you can run the ball when you're getting it in 10-yard chunks. First down, which will stop the clock. That play took 6 seconds.
That's exactly, I mean, you couldn't hope for anything more for DePauw. You move the ball, first down, stop the clock, don't have to waste a timeout, and now you're in Wabash territory.
This is what we thought this game might progress into a year ago. Not this year. This game has been played to a one-score game. The last 5 times it has been contested. Something will have to change mightily for that to be the case here. Fake the handoff, Rennie on the keep. Will bounce it outside. And Franco will shove him out of bounds, but it's been deemed his forward progress was stopped. So importantly for DePauw, clock will keep rolling here.
Yeah, Gavin Rupert did a really good job, the outside linebacker at Wabash there, to read that. He stayed home and he forced Rennie outside. If he crashes in on that play fake, Rennie's gone for a first down and more.
Gavin, the freshman, the second in the NCAC in tackles this year as a freshman linebacker out of Greenwood.
Second down and 10. And again, DePauw taking clock management, maybe even over aggression at this point. With a 21-0 lead, you can do that. Check down to Baumgartner. Baumgartner will step out of bounds, which will stop the clock. That'll be 3rd down and short. They'll give him forward progress to the 40-yard line at a gain of 9.
Yeah, kind of thinking maybe they're being a little too conservative after that first down run on the first play. Why not go a little bit more, hurry up and see if you can get some yards? But there, 3rd and short. So now I think if you pick this up, you still got that timeout, then you're probably looking to score some points. If they don't pick this up here, yeah, you let the clock run, you probably kick it away.
They do like their distance kicker as well in Drake if they can pick up another first down, maybe to give him a shot at the end of the half. Quigley in motion. Baumgartner with the carry for 9, and referee Hoffman saw the same thing I did.
Steve. Yep.
That was a very arena football, Canadian Football League level motion
Canadian
for Quigley
football.
Going forward. It probably
motion.
should have been an infraction.
Yeah, that was pretty obvious. I think we were all waiting for the flag to come up on that one. And the Wabash coach is having a conniption on the sideline over there, wanting the same thing.
So a gain of 9. 4-man rush. Running, throwing the deep ball, looking for Smith. Smith turns, and flag is going to be thrown on pass interference. Coverage applied that time by Wabash's Vaughn Taylor. Again, it'll be 15 yards and a first down for DePauw.
That's what you're hoping for there. Just that 50-50 ball. You hope either you got to catch it or maybe you get that flag. Really nice throw.
Pass interference.
Really nice throw.
On the defense, number 10. 15-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Get a look at Don Morrell on the sidelines there, and not much is going right now for the Little Giants.
No, and what you had there, Vaughn Taylor's an outside linebacker. That's just not a position. I know they work on it. He's not a position. He's not there as much as a cornerback may be as far as being able to play that ball.
Brad, I would say that probably looked worse than it really was.
Exactly. Watching that replay, that was iffy.
Again, because he didn't turn.
No.
You're usually going to get that guilty look, and the official trailing the play didn't have as good of an angle as we did from up top on that one, but
well, and the receiver turns around and backpedals. He's falling down naturally there too. That helped the play for sure.
Vacated backfield, running on the screen, finds Shaw, and he finds the turf quickly. Tackle made by Wabash. That's Will Olive.
Boy, I thought they had the right play dialed up there, because we brought people from the edge up down to the bottom of your screen there, and I thought they threw right behind him. I thought that may have been a big play.
Having just that one timeout means the Tigers got to go quickly here. 2nd down and long, looking for Shaw, and Shaw maybe gave up that ball a little quicker than he should have. Not had a chance to make a play there.
Looked like it maybe, but I think he probably realized that was going to be a tough catch, but he had a step. I mean, that was the right play call.
All right, Brad, is this a run play, take what you get, kick the field goal to end the half?
Yeah, you've got a pretty good leg in Drake. Again, just to give yourself a chance to get 3 points. The way you've been running the ball, I mean, you get 6 or 7 yards. That's really big right here. The first down, though, probably going to be tough unless they throw it in the end zone.
And now a timeout going to be taken by Wabash. Again, they've got all 3 left, and so they will take one here and try to figure things out.
Wabash, that is their first of the half.
See Mike Ridings, the defensive coordinator, down there in the center of that huddle. And again, Wabash has felt they have gotten better on defense throughout the course of this season, but they frankly knew they would have to have Liam Thompson have what has been his typical day to likely win today. And to me, that's the story of this game. The DePauw defense right now is the story of this one.
Yeah, the 21 on DePauw's side is not that much of a surprise based on how our defense has done and how DePauw's offense has been able to run the ball. But that 0 on the Wabash side on that scoreboard is something we have not seen. It's something I would have never expected at halftime of today's game.
Special hello to Dr. Nipun Chopra on the staff here at DePauw University, a DePauw University alum as well. Appreciate his kind words on Twitter about the broadcast. We want to thank those of you watching on Twitter, on YouTube. I have no idea what Twitch is, but we're on that. Apple TV.
We're twitching.
Something like that. It's cold. We probably are. Roku, ISC Sports Network.com. Those of you watching across the state of Indiana on Comcast 81, thank you for joining us.
I want to also talk a little bit about all the telecast parties that go on around the country.
Absolutely.
Many of them are Wabash and DePauw alums getting together. I know Wabash has over 40 of them around the country, one actually in Switzerland. I just got a text and a photo from the group in Switzerland led by Greg Burke, class of 77, but over 30 of them are with DePauw alumni.
I feel like Switzerland here. I'm the one neutral that is in the building today. I resemble that watch party. 3rd down and 13. And now a final timeout called by DePauw, which frankly, Brad, that now limits what you can do play-wise here because it'd be a tough fire. You're going to get your field goal team out there if you get tackled in the field of play.
Yeah, that's a really tough one here. So now you're either running something to the sidelines or you're running something to the end zone, which I thought they were probably going to do anyway on 3rd down. It was probably a pass into the end zone, but at least you still had that one timeout. It frankly makes it easier to defend too. If you're Wabash, now you're really backing maybe a few guys up into that end zone and watching the sidelines as well, because anything in the middle of the field ends the half. Maybe a 1st down stops the clock just enough time to run the kicker out, but that would be tight.
I want to take this moment to also thank the folks behind the scenes that are so integral in our production of these broadcasts. Our point of contact is Jim Amadon at Wabash College, and Steve can rattle off all the wonderful things that Jim does. In fact, he and Jim handle the home broadcast for Wabash College for the majority of the season. And thanks to Brad Hodder, of course, has been my friend for the last 9 years as we are the dastardly duo that handles the Indy 11 telecast locally. But Brad's day job has been being the men's soccer coach at DePauw, as well as handling a variety of other duties. This is his last official job detail here at DePauw University before going to work for the Indy 11 on a full-time basis. Thanks to both Brad and Jim for making this broadcast possible. 3rd down and 13. 3-man rush. Running. Throws in. It's intercepted. Picked off. Maybe that is the play that can spark the Little Giants.
Boy, the last thing you want to do there under the DePauw offense.
Yeah, having to take that last time out, that really killed DePauw and limited what they were going to do, because you probably could have just run that ball and then settled for a field goal. They've got a couple of good field goal kickers. I mean, it felt like maybe for the Tigers they were playing with house money there a little bit, didn't expect to get the ball back with enough time to potentially score. But would you have a chance to put points on the board in this game? As we saw last year with DePauw up 21-0, you've got to capitalize. They don't there. That's big momentum for the Little Giants heading into the second half.
That is Giovanni Zapala. That is on your screen. He is a senior from Harrison High School, played for Terry Peebles up at Harrison. Make sure I get Bill and Terry right in terms of their job responsibilities. Well, DePauw has been laying back the entirety of the game. They were playing their prevent defense on that one. Had 2 safeties 30 yards back. Wabash going to run one play and think they're going to call that a day. So they do get a defensive stop, but not a point. Again, for a team that had the 2nd most prolific offense in Division III. We're going to talk to Don Morell instead. Derek, take it away.
Coach, this is an uncharted territory for you guys. You're down 21-0 last year. We saw Liam Thompson's stiff arm really kind of change things. That end zone interception Is that going to be a spark for the second half for your kids?
It's a start. I mean, they're kicking us pretty good right now, but we need to take the opening drive and get something positive going. And I think then we can put some pressure on them because we've had all the pressure this half. They're doing a good job on defense.
This is a really talented Tigers unit. We've seen them drop 8, even in some cases drop 9. Has that been a wrinkle that has caused you guys some problems?
It has, actually.
Coach, good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Derek, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Coach Dietz hanging out down on the other end as well. 21-0 our score at the break. Brad, your thoughts on where the Tigers are right now?
Well, I mean, if you're DePauw, it's ironic that you got up to another 21-0 lead, but you made a really great point, Rake. At the end of the first half last year, it was 21-14. It's still 21-0. So time is running short, but we've seen this Wabash offense and Liam Thompson time and time again. If anyone can score quickly and bring the Little Giants back into the football game, it's going to be Wabash. So I think that first series is going to tell us a lot. If DePauw's defense can clamp down on that first series, huge for the Tigers. Not likewise, 7 points would be big for Wabash.
Yeah. Well, let's go to break. 21-0, DePauw leading Wabash. Stay tuned. Our halftime show comes your way next from Blackstock Stadium as you're watching 128th playing of the Monon Bell Classic right here on the ISC Sports Network.
Respect, trust, acceptance. Earning means more than salary. The Wabash grads do earn some of the highest salaries around. With the nation's best alumni network and outstanding career services, we show you what's possible through immersion trips, internships, and networking events. With those experiences and more, our students are admitted to graduate or professional school or land jobs before graduation. Here, you command your own success. Come to Wabash. Earn more.
Wabash men are leaders. In this environment, self-governance is a way of life. Students develop strong leadership skills in classes and labs, on the field and stage, and in clubs and organizations. These men are prepared to take on campus and the world beyond. 1 in 10 of our graduates hold high leadership positions. Presidents, owners, founders, you name it. When you want to lead, you go to a leading school. Come to Wabash. Lead more.
You will have an army of people behind you attending DePauw. They all genuinely care about you. They want the best for you. You will know your professors on a personal level. Your coaches will know you. They will know your schedule. They'll know who you are, where you come from. They'll know your family. They'll be able to say hi to your parents when they come for like family weekend, and they will all rally behind you. Now stepping into the rest of my junior and senior year, I know that they're behind me and they want the best for me, and I know that goes for every other DePauw student at this school. It will set you up so well for the rest of your life.
Encouraging students to take a step and explore not only topics of diversity, equity, and inclusion, but also experience topics of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I think we have some kind of core pieces of it, but I think we could expand and provide everybody access to things that maybe they wouldn't have access to normally. I hope that students are able to explore the world and go abroad and see other things that are outside of themselves. And I think that enhances the learning and the experience that I think we could provide here.
Again, an absolutely gorgeous day. Maybe not the perfect football weather, but right now you're enjoying this weather. You'd enjoy any weather if you're a DePauw University fan. 21-0, the Tigers lead in this Monon Bell Classic. We'll give Brad Walker-Merck and Steve Hoffman a bit of a breather. I want to take some time to tell you about these two wonderful institutions. Let's start with the visitors from Wabash College. Here's more about that wonderful school in Crawfordsville, Indiana.
Athletic facilities speak to the level of commitment to students, and our facilities here are some of the best in the country. Full stop, even compared with other Division II and Division I programs. Our facilities stack up or exceed a lot of those other campuses.
There's one school in the country that proudly proclaims we fight. Whether it's on the football field or in the classroom to prove a point, this college is competitive everywhere, and it just builds a better man.
And you know, you're surrounded by guys who are really serious about academics and really serious about athletics, and it kind of pushes you to work a little harder and be a little better every day.
We are teaching, on the track. We are teaching off the track. We are the same coaches in practice that we are at a small meet, a conference championship, or a national meet. we will slow it down in practice. Like, we're not afraid to spend a lot more time individually on some things. We don't have cookie cutter practice plans. We do a lot of things individually for our athletes to get them better, and still making sure you're okay emotionally, and you're confident, you're ready to go.
They'll be able to apply that lesson of hard work and dedication to whatever field they decide to be professional in, and that'll help them be successful.
The biggest benefit to guys coming to Wabash College that want to compete at a very high level in their sport is just basically championship level facilities for all sports. You don't see that very often. It creates a very cool environment, a very competitive environment on campus, which helps you then start chasing trophies.
We're trying to take every day as an opportunity to better our guys, to build a team that can compete for conference championships and ultimately compete nationally like so many of our teams here at Wabash have been able to do. I think the thing that makes us unique is the relationship between the faculty and the coaches. Our faculty really is in sync with the students wanting to accomplish what's important to them.
Everybody around campus seems really to enjoy the athletic side of Wabash. People see that and see that excitement on campus for, whether it's a basketball game or a football game or a volleyball game or a baseball game. It's easy to see how much the campus cares about our athletics programs.
Can you have it all here? Look at last year alone. Our scholar athletes won 3 conference championships, multiple academic All-Americans, advanced to a Final Four, and finished as the national runner-up in wrestling. At Wabash, anything is possible.
I'm not sure you're going to find another Division III school with facilities like we have.
People need to see it to believe it. They need to come to Crawfordsville and physically see the athletic facilities we offer.
And we are nothing if not equal time on this broadcast. You just saw 3 minutes about Wabash College. How about 3 minutes for the home side? Here's more on DePauw University.
When people visit DePauw as prospective students and families, alumni or guests, they often share 3 common themes: the beauty of the campus, the friendliness of the people that they meet, and our energy and excitement for what's ahead. But what you can't see on the surface are the goals and aspirations of our students. Students are attracted to the DePauw experience because it means they live their passion and follow their dreams.
One of the things I love about recruiting to DePauw is that you've got student athletes that don't have to give up on their dreams. In the last few years, we've had one of our student athletes go on to LA, and she started her own production company. In addition, we've had a handful of soccer players that have signed pro contracts. One of our women's basketball alums has signed a pro contract in Europe. We've got a runner from our cross-country team that's now running professionally. And just this last year, we had another football player sign their first professional contract. So whether it's out in corporate America or whether it's on the field or the court, our student athletes do not have to give up on their dream.
DePauw has shaped my dreams in a lot of different ways and helped me grow definitely day in and day out of being on campus, whether that's in the classroom, on the pool deck, or in my living space. DePauw has an incredible amount of resources in whatever groups you choose to be a part of.
That family dynamic was really important to me. I wanted to go somewhere that was smaller because I didn't want to get lost in a larger school with tens of thousands of kids.
DePauw has really helped me realize that there is so much that I can put on my horizon. I don't have to just have my head down, just digging straight into one course.
This summer I was able to get an internship with a Division I university, St. Louis University. My supervisor there, he was a DePauw football alum, and I was able to get in contact with him from Coach Dietz. The connection there has been fantastic, and it really allowed me to get this internship that really helped shape some of my ideas and some of the things I want to do after college. That connection, really, I would not have been able to get without DePauw football. So that's been a really big part of my life, and that's helped form my dream and kind of continue that and give me a great opportunity to then expand that and start that after college.
We're number 3 in the nation for study abroad undergraduate participation and number 16 in the nation for most innovative schools. In 2021-2022, we had 4 NCAA postgraduate scholarship winners, 4 COSIDA Academic All-American honorees, and 5 NCAC Player of the Year awards. 3 teams and 3 individuals participated in the NCAA championships, 4 North Coast Athletic Conference team champions, and 10 individual and 3 relay team NCAC champions. We have 5 teams scheduled to travel internationally to Colombia, Italy, Spain, and Portugal, and several other teams that will travel to California, Texas, and Washington, D.C. Student athletes love their DePauw experience because they can be a student, studying abroad, participating in internships, clubs, and organizations, hosting a radio show, writing for the DePauw, and still win conference championships and pursue national championships. At DePauw, you don't have to choose, you just have to follow your dreams.
Welcome back to Blackstock Stadium, and it's Christmas card weather, pictures that you have, but frankly, you're not wanting to celebrate the holiday if you're a Wabash fan right now. For a second year in a row, DePauw leads the game 21-0. Last year it was at Crawfordsville, it was after 1 quarter of play. This year it's at halftime and at the home of the Tigers. Once again joined atop the press box by Steve Hoffman of Wabash College, from Brad Wakamerka of DePauw University. Your guys are in front. We're going to start with you. How you feeling right now, DePauw Tiger?
I felt a lot better if I didn't watch last year's game. Again, we mentioned 21-0 DePauw, but that was quick. In the first quarter, it was 21-14 at halftime. But still, you know how dangerous this Wabash offense is. I think if you're DePauw, though, you have to be so happy with the way you're able to just balance your offense, but really run the football. No reason to go away from it. Run the football, get chunk plays, run that clock. Really, there's nothing different in the game plan for DePauw in the second half than there was to start the game.
Again, that's the positive. Obviously, the negative is what Wabash is going through. If you're Don Morrell, what is your message to your guys right now?
Again, I think it's doing your job and getting done what needs to be done. Really back to the basics. The problem here is, as surprising as that 0 is on the Wabash side, the defense has to start playing for Wabash to stop. So if our offense starts scoring some points, we still got to get some stops against that brutal DePauw running game.
All right, so with that, let's show you some highlights from half number 1. Again, these highlights, a lot of them are going to be on the DePauw side of the ledger with a 21-0 lead here at the break. So we'll take a look. Gus Baumgartner with the touchdown. Again, he had 9 on the season coming in. We'll give you Gus Baumgartner's stats coming up in a matter of moments, but Baumgartner the story. This is the first Wabash drive of the game. Liam Thompson with the fumble. The hit combined from David Gould and Ethan Lowry. Luke Marsh on the recovery. And Brad, I think that set the tone for DePauw for the entire half.
Oh, it absolutely did, because Wabash doing exactly what we thought they were going to do. Move the football. That was really the only time in the first half they were able to do so, and it ended with the turnover.
So here is Trey Shaw. Shaw with his 6th touchdown of the season. That would make it 13-0. Again, yards after the catch as he gets away from Jose Franco, then the remainder of the Wabash Little Giants. And now let's welcome in our friends at Telemetry Sports. Happy to have them on as part of the broadcast. Take a look at the speed he would get up to here. Quickly gets up to nearly 15 miles an hour before he reaches the end zone. And finally, Gabe Quigley with the 2nd touchdown catch of the afternoon for Quigley, his 3rd of the season. The former quarterback for John Hebert at Carmel High School. That would make it 21-0. Again, the only negative for DePauw was the late first half interception thrown to Giovanni Zappala. Could have been 24, could have been 28. Instead, right now, it is 21-0 in favor of the DePauw Tigers.
Yeah, you look at some momentum. If there's anything you build off of for Wabash, it's that interception there late. But, coming out with the football to start the second half for Wabash, I don't know what more they might do differently. We saw them want to air it out with Liam Thompson. They had the running game going in some spurts, but DePauw just sat back those 7, 8, sometimes 9 guys in coverage. And you heard Coach Morrell talk about at the end of the half with Derek, did it confuse him? Was it different? Yeah, he said. So I'm real curious to see what he does and what Liam Thompson does to adjust to that in the second half in particular.
Some of the numbers in half number 1 for DePauw: running 8 for 14 passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, 70 yards total. Shaw with 3 catches, Quigley with 2. Gus Baumgartner, as you see the team stats now roll up. Again, we highlighted Gus Baumgartner before the game. I'm glad we did. 18 carries, 122 yards and a touchdown for the young man from Garin Catholic High School. Obviously, those numbers for Wabash from an offensive standpoint, not exactly what they're used to. Liam Thompson, 5 of 14 for 40 yards. Allen, 3 catches for 23. Thompson was the leading ground gainer, 7 for 35. Snyder, as in Donovan Snyder, had 7 carries for 18 yards. How does this potentially change, specifically on offense, Steve? What can they do differently now that they have seen DePauw really kind of lay back 7 and 8 in coverage almost every play?
Yeah, I think you're going to have to be willing to take some of the underneath stuff. And if they're rushing 2 and dropping, I think you have to be willing to take some 7 or 8 yard pass plays underneath that. Or you just give the ball more to Snyder and let Liam run a little bit more and try to get the running game going. The problem is you got one half to make up 21 points against an offense that you're not stopping either. So you can't rely on the run too much just because of clock.
We'll take this quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll catch up with DePauw head coach Brett Dietz. He'll have over with Derek Schultz when we come back. 21-0, Tigers in front. As you're watching the Monon Bell Classic on the ISC Sports Network.
Wabash always fights. Our motto brings the spirit of competition to everything we do. In top-notch athletics, we have a championship pedigree that is unrivaled. Off the field, we boast outstanding theater, music, and choral programs, intense intramurals, gaming, and more. The Wabash experience doesn't end at the classroom. Whether you play to win or just for fun, this is the place to be. Come to Wabash. Play more.
After providing all the internship opportunities and leadership opportunities I've gotten here, it's given me a good idea of what core values really resonate with me. I really feel like DePauw has been extremely empowering, not just the conversations you have with alumni, but with faculty also. It doesn't matter what type of leader you are, you will find ways to lead in your own way if you want to.
We want to regularly renew our curriculum so that the courses that we offer to students at DePauw are continually relevant to what students tell us they are interested in and to what employers tell us that they need.
DePauw has always had a strong College of Liberal Arts and Sciences at our core. In this new academic renewal model, that college is going to remain central to everything we do at the university.
Once again, back in Greencastle, Derek Schultz is standing by with DePauw head coach Brett Dietz.
Coach, 21-0. A lot of things went well for you in that first half, but looking at the box score, Liam Thompson, 75 total yards. He usually does that in a quarter. How proud of you are your defensive front?
We're doing a great job, and we're confused, and we're mixing up our looks, and that's really helping us, and we got to continue to do it. We know they're going to come back and give it our best punch, and we got to be momentum-proof in the second half. That's where we went wrong last year, so I love the talk in the locker room about maintaining calm, one drive, one quarter at a time.
For as much talk as it was about the little Giants and Thompson, you're probably thinking to yourself, look, we've got quite the offense as well. 45, as far as your possessions are concerned, 45 plays to 29 for DePauw. Were you happy with how you were able to control the ball, control the ground, control the clock in that first half?
Absolutely. That went according to game plan. And we gave some drives away. Missed a miscue at the end, but we're in a good spot right now. And we just got to keep playing football. Just keep playing DePauw football.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Thank you.
We'll see if the Tigers can hold on this time, guys, to a 21-0 lead.
Derek, thank you very much. Coach, thank you very much. We'll talk to the winning coach at the conclusion of our broadcast. And, of course, for all of you Derek Schultz fans out there, and there are lots of them, he and Jake Query, of course, Query and Schultz, every Monday in the same places you are watching this Monon Bell Classic on the ISC Sports Network on Comcast 81. New show debuts every Monday at 7:30. A special hello. My timeline, not surprising, with the Tigers leading 21-0. All of my DePauw friends are hitting up my Twitter timeline. So a hello to Dominic Miranda, who played in this game for the DePauw Tigers. These days, he covers the Florida State Seminoles and others, doing television work in Tallahassee, Florida. He is enjoying both the temperature difference where he's at compared to here and the score of today's game. So hello, Dom. Hope you are enjoying the broadcast.
We need to get you more Wabash friends.
I got a feeling if it was closer than 21-0.
No.
All the Wabash folks. I know Lee Clark is watching
there
this broadcast as we speak. I've got another Wabash story I'll share with you as the broadcast goes along. So Drake on to kick this ball away. And that young man trying to rally and find some energy for half number 2. Again, wind, pretty negligible right now. It's just cold. Game time temperature was 31 degrees. And I would estimate we had 3 to 4 inches of snow this morning before kickoff. We've seen some fair catches, not this time. This will be brought back and not very far. Tackle is made by Andrew Word, a junior from Wrights High School in Evansville.
I think we're going to need the Wabash offense, Wabash team actually is going to need something to happen pretty quickly to really get a spark and get going here. You know, when you get your leader on the team, number 2, Liam Thompson, really struggling today. I think you said 5 of 14. It's
correct.
An amazing stat line for Wabash. 104 yards total offense in the first half for Wabash. I think the team is kind of waiting for him and the Wabash offense to get going. I think that might spark the defense a little bit.
The ball's just shy of the 20-yard line. Handoff goes to Snyder. And Snyder gets a yard or 2. Brevin Good. It's a family tradition for that young man from Avon playing here for the Tigers.
Yeah, a whole bunch of good defenders have come through from that family on the DePauw side of the football. But seriously, I mean, you look at Wabash, you think you got to get in a rhythm, right? I mean, and like 5 of 14, a lot of those have been passes where Liam Thompson has time to throw, and he's been throwing it away. Got to get quick hitters getting in the rhythm.
Here comes a blitz. Thompson reads it, fires, first down. Let's see if that gets him on track. 12-yard completion, and for Allen, his 4th catch of the day.
Yeah, that's what we didn't see much, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the 6th completion of the day for Thompson. It's also one of the rare times that DePauw brought some pressure. Thompson able to pick out his favorite target in Allen. Handoff goes to Snyder. Snyder cuts back and does the best that he can, gets 2. Ben Berger on the tackle, junior from Wheaton, Illinois.
And one of the things Coach Dietz said at halftime is, really changing up the defense, not just rushing 2 and dropping 9 like they did a couple times, but really changing it up. Other times bringing 6.
A 2nd down and 8. 4-man front for DePauw. Thompson looks left side, slings it, has a man, and just off the extended hands of Heisman Skeens.
Yeah, you see, that's the type of pass we're used to seeing. Liam Thompson hit. Skeens came open. It was a well-designed route, and Liam Thompson just led him a bit too much.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I kind of did the same thing. That's usually one he's typically going to hit. Looked like he was sliding off his back foot a little bit on that one, more than he typically does, especially with no rush coming at him.
Is it 4-down territory yet? Down 21-0?
If you don't get anything here, I think no.
Yeah, I don't think this early.
3rd and 8. Thompson looks, continues, just buying time. Seemingly half the DePauw student body is chasing him. Knocked away, intercepted. It's picked off by DePauw. DePauw's got the football down the sidelines. 1 man to beat. He will score. Touchdown, Tigers. Jake Comer.
Everything the DePauw defense doing right now is working perfectly. The pressure with just 4 guys on Liam Thompson. The coverage downfield, perfect coverage, and then what a play. The athleticism to tip the ball and then to make the interception and return it for 6. But that is 11 guys playing defense that led to that turnover and score.
That tip that time by Dane Young for DePauw. For Thompson, just his 6th interception of the season. And the return by Comer for the pick 6.
Yeah, the coverage is certainly impressive, Brad. I think that was an example of Liam trying to do too much there at the end. You know, you just can't throw it like that. No one's open. He's getting frustrated. He's going to try to take this all on his shoulders like we see good players do. In a situation like that, you know, he's better off taking what it is and living to play the next series. But being on 3rd down, he really felt like he had to make something happen there.
One of the hardest things you can do, right, Steve? Tell an athlete of that caliber just to take the loss or take the play, take it for what it is. Liam Thompson trying to extend it, has such great arm strength. And that play was not far from being a miraculous play, just a couple of inches, but what a job by the DePauw defense.
Let's put this in perspective. DePauw has shutouts against Anderson, Hiram, Wooster, and Oberlin this year. None of those schools are as good as Wabash College are in football, and right now it is a 0 on the board for the Little Giants.
Greg, no offense to those schools, although when you say that it usually means offense. Those three schools could probably combine all of their best players and still not be as good as Wabash. I mean, this is a really good Wabash team, but this speaks to really how incredulous this is right now, the performance so far by the DePauw defense.
And you pointed out earlier, Brad, I'm looking at the starting lineup of the DePauw defense. I see 0 seniors on that roster, on the starting defense in front of me.
The last time that there was a sizable margin of win for DePauw, not that you need to win by more than 1 in this rivalry game, but the last time it wasn't a 1-score win for the Tigers, you got to go back to Crawfordsville in 2008 when DePauw won 36-14. Fair catch is made, and the Little Giants will start this drive at the 15-yard line.
Well, now it becomes a now or never type thing. I mean, you just can't, keep waiting around for the offense to get started. The offense has to get started. I mean, down 4 scores here. Still within reach.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this team can put up points in a hurry. We know that. I think now you're going to spread it out and probably going to focus almost solely on throwing the football. Maybe some designed quarterback runs. Here we haven't seen that as much from Liam Thompson. But again, I mentioned just that rhythm passing, that quick drop back, hit guys in stride, hit guys in their route tree.
Quick hitter. Skeens dropped it. It's been that type of day.
Rolling on the field is an incomplete pass. Second down.
Well, and that's what starts happening, right? You start tightening up a little bit. You really got to make everything you feel like has to be perfect. You got to make every play. You got to make every play a big play, bigger than it was maybe designed to even be or even laid out in front of you. And so you just start kind of tightening up a little bit.
Second down and 10. 4-man rush. Again, here's pressure. Thompson makes Gould miss, Lowry miss, outruns Marsh, steps out of bounds, and frankly, that was a great job by Jonathan Bruder to not make contact with him on that play. That is a gain of 6.
I've been so impressed with the pressure of the DePauw front 4, or even front 3 at times, just winning battles up front. I mean, the coverage has been outstanding downfield to allow those guys to get there, but even that pressure has forced Liam Thompson to dance around the pocket.
Yeah, it's still a win for DePauw, I think, for Liam to run for 7 yards on a play like that.
He is their leading passer, obviously, their leading rusher in this game. Catch made, that's first down, that's Sullivan. Good open field tackle made by the Tigers. That's Cortez Stoudemire that makes the play, but gives Sullivan a gain of 8 yards and a much-needed Wabash first down.
Yeah, I think that's what you need to do right now. Get Liam Thompson to actually get the ball out quicker. Just move the chains, see some passes complete, get the feel.
First and 10. Rolling pocket. Thompson again wants the long ball. Passes up one short receiver, but makes a good throw. Picks up 11 yards, and that is Connor Thompson. I think Liam knows him well. Pick up 11 yards and a Wabash College first down.
Throw to him in the backyard their whole life, so there you go. Liam saw him open early, I think, as he came out, but he wanted a little bit more, wanted to wait and see if he could get something bigger on that.
For Connor, that is his 14th catch of the season. And to the backfield out, that's Campbell. Now in the throw, again, Thompson makes the grab. He paid the price. He took the pop from Tommy Ryan, but that should be enough to move the chains. 10-yard pickup, and frankly, we're now seeing Wabash move it better than they have, with the exception of the opening drive of the game.
Yeah, and certainly just need to make it, take it all the way into the end zone here. Starting to feel that way. Looks like they are now getting it out a little quicker, like you said, Brad, a little quicker out of Liam's hands.
It'll be a handoff this time. It'll be a gain of a couple. Good second effort, and that's Cade Campbell, junior from Mississinawa High School. 200-plus rushing yards on the season, picks up 4 there. That'll be points every time at this juncture for Wabash.
That was a nice run, though. I mean, that looked like it could have been stopped for no gain or even a loss, and Campbell able to squirt through for 4 yards.
Fake the handoff. Thompson keeps. First down and more inside the 20 and taken down at about the 18-yard line. Give him 18 yards. First down Wabash, and they had the ball inside of the red zone. for the first time since the opening drive.
Since the opening drive, when we fumbled the ball back to DePauw, which didn't start the game off well, so to get a timeout.
Timeout has been taken by DePauw, which means we will step aside as well.
DePauw, that's their first of the half.
11:08 to play in the third quarter. It is a 4-touchdown lead for the Tigers. We're back in 60 seconds on the ISC Sports Network.
Respect, trust, acceptance. Earning means more than salary. The Wabash grads do earn some of the highest salaries around. With the nation's best alumni network and outstanding career services, we show you what's possible through immersion trips, internships, and networking events. With those experiences and more, our students are admitted to graduate or professional school or land jobs before graduation. Here, you command your own success. Come to Wabash. Earn more.
The world around us is changing, and so DePauw, like any other school, needs to continue to evolve. That's why I am so excited about the School of Business and Leadership, combined with a liberal arts education. Very few schools in the entire world can do those two things well at one time. DePauw's been doing it well for a long time. Now we're formalizing it. I think that DePauw has been, and I am confident will, create the leaders the world really needs.
So Wabash has the football. DePauw calls for timeout. Again, just to make sure all their defenders are on the same page, given the fact they have played a nearly perfect game to this point. 28-0. Thompson. Quick hitter. Sullivan. Catch made. Gain of 7 on the play. Tackle made by Liam Wright, young man from Cecina High School. Second down.
Yeah, and we talked at halftime, both of us, Brad, about how does Wabash get into this defense? It's the quick hitters, being willing to take the 7 or 8 yard completions.
I keep everything in front of you, meaning, if the quarterback draw, get it, go. Quick hitters,
Yeah.
not a lot of 4 or 5, 5, 7 step drops. Keep it moving quick.
Hand off Campbell, he's got a first down. And you hear the roar from the Wabash sideline. And the fans behind the bench. Gain of 7. First and goal, 5 yard line, and now the Little Giant trying to go on the quick. DePauw's got too many men on the field. Basically a free play. Campbell will bounce it outside. He'll get a yard or 2, but that play will be done again. It'll be first and goal from about the 2 yard line.
Yeah, really the only time the Wabash fans, especially in that corner, have any chance to roar about anything.
Good job by Wabash, hurrying up, going quick. You'll see the too many men on the field from DePauw had 14 guys.
Illegal substitution, 12 men on the field on the defense. That is a half-distance penalty. Replay, second down.
Best tackle on that play was made by the Snowbank on the official on that sideline. Again, I cannot tell you how good of a job the grounds and facilities management folks did at DePauw to clear this field in the fashion in which they did.
Yeah, and Cade Campbell's not very tall. He getting that Snowbank, had a little bit of a hard time getting out of it.
Hand off Campbell. Campbell upended. Penetration that time. That's David Gould. Gould, one of the many members of the Cathedral Fighting Irish. We're in the 6A semi-state. Next week against Center Grove. Gould with the tackle at second down.
It's a great individual play. Again, they kind of got his hip and his back into him just to disrupt the play, able to make the tackle. That's really nice on short yardage.
Marsh and Good in on the play as well. And again, folks, all 11 starters return on defense next year for DePauw. Rolling pocket left side, fires Skeens, touchdown. Heisman Skeens finds the end zone. You had to get the first one to start a comeback. It's now a 3-score game with the extra point to come.
Well, that is going to have to, this momentum is going to have to carry over into the defense. Wabash defense has not been on the field yet this half. We've had a lot happen without them seeing the field, so it was really going to be interesting. I think that's the matchup that's really going to be interesting now.
Skeens with his 6th touchdown grab of the season. For Liam Thompson, it is his 33rd touchdown toss of the season. Brigham Anderson on for the extra point try. Kick is up, and it is good. 28-7. So now what would be my statement as far as Wabash? You've got on the board. Now what do you have to do again?
Now your defense has to start getting stops, either forcing punts and maybe stripping the ball and getting some big turnover. But that also says something about Liam Thompson, the type of competitor he is. He just threw a pick 6. A devastating pick 6, and he comes back out and was crazy. I think I haven't seen stats efficient on that drive.
One of the things I liked, not just on the touchdown, we saw it a couple of times, they started rolling Liam Thompson out a little bit more. Now he was rolling out, but rolling for his life in the first half a lot, just not naturally on the play call. A couple of times there we saw some designed rollouts, which I like that, because if DePauw's going to drop 7 or 8 guys, it opens up the field for Thompson to potentially run the ball too, but also gets his receivers moving a bit. So some quick passes, some rollouts, just looked like a different offense, felt like a different offense for Wabash. I expect we'll see a lot more of that in the rest of the half.
Well, to your point, Steve, now in the second half, Liam Thompson 6 of 9. Obviously, one of those 3 incompletions was an interception, but starting to put up much more Liam Thompson-like numbers. Had 40 yards passing in the first half, has 49 in half number 2. Do you think about the onside already? No. Short kick, returnable kick at the 10-yard line. Out to the 25 and to the 27-yard line. Daniel Roach, young man from Central Catholic in Lafayette, on the return. DePauw, I think there's a pretty good idea as to what's going to happen on this drive. Now the question is, can Wabash stop it? A whole lot of Gus Baumgartner.
Yeah, absolutely. A whole lot of Gus Baumgartner. I mean, I'd be surprised if DePauw comes out doing anything differently, so we'll see how does Wabash adjust at halftime. It's been a while since DePauw's had the football now, long halftime and a couple of possessions there for Wabash, but the DePauw running game was so good in the first half, and they'll probably rely on it a lot here in the second.
Baumgartner potentially can have one of the all-time rushing performances in a Monon Bell game from the DePauw perspective. We'll update you on that. Depending on what he does on this drive. It's Baumgartner, and Baumgartner gets a yard or 2. And again, there's a lot less time, and there's more ground to make up, because it's reminiscent of last year. One big play happens for Wabash, Steve, and the crowd is right back in it.
Right, it sure happened last year, and then last year the way Wabash got back into it again, a lot more ground to wake up or make up in less time now. It's just making plays. There were no big pick sixes or block punts or anything. Just make plays.
Rennie, catch made. Shaw gets a solid gain, picks up 5. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, again, short and quick, safe passes. We saw a lot of that in the first half, and if the run game's not there on first down, go back to it on second. But this is a really, really big 3rd down already early in the 3rd quarter for DePauw, even bigger so for the Wabash defense.
Running now 9 of 15 passing for 75 yards. Need to get the ball to the 37-yard line to the Tigers. Quigley in motion. Rennie will keep. Rennie won't get there. Will not get there. Well, momentum now back on the side of the Little Giants. It's a 3-score game. They've got 23 minutes in which to try to get back in it. And here comes the punt team on for the Tigers.
Yeah, huge stop for the defense. We haven't seen a lot of that until early in the first quarter. At least it doesn't feel like to me. Big stop for the defense after the Wabash offense goes down the field and scores.
And DePauw wasn't really in many of those situations. 3rd and kind of medium, 3rd and long on their own side of the field. So really the first time that I can remember in the game we've seen that from DePauw.
Drake to boot the ball away. Outstanding kick. Sullivan gets out of the way, and that is a mistake, because this ball will keep on rolling all the way down to the 7-yard line. That is a 60-yard punt, both in distance and net for Jack Drake.
And in fairness, Cooper, the returning punts is an art. It's really tough, especially a low one like that where you can't get underneath it. You don't want to try to catch it and kick it back to the other team either. So not a whole lot of choice there when you only have one defender back.
First touching was at the 13-yard line. First down, Wabash.
Well, turns into a 54-yard punt instead. Apparently one of the players down to try to down the ball touched at the 13-yard line. This drive will still start deep in Wabash's own end. For the first time, they have the ball back after a score. Thompson looking for the pump and go. Here comes pressure, and Thompson will not get away. Sacked for the first time today by Ethan Lowry.
That time they were able to get through, and this time Lowry didn't stop. Kept going, used that motor. After the little pump fake by Thompson here to that screen outside, Lowry got through, made sure, look, 2 arms right around, can't escape this time, and a big sack, the first of the game for DePauw.
And it just felt like that was going to happen eventually, because they've been getting pressure on Liam all day.
And now a false start against Wabash. Seemingly these Tigers not rattled by giving up points the first time today.
Well, it's a good thing for DePauw that...
On the offense, number 59. Penalties half the distance. Replay, second down.
I was going to say it's a good thing for DePauw those fans did not get cleared out of those stands in the end zones from throwing snowballs, as was threatened in the first half by the officials, because the crowd noise definitely playing a factor down there right now.
The ball back to the 3-yard line. Now facing second down and, well, plenty of yards to go. North of 20. Thompson throws, has Skeens, has it, takes the shot, has the ball, first down Wabash past the 40-yard line.
That is a Liam Thompson throw. I mean, when you zip it down the field that quickly, not a whole lot of trajectory in it, just a nice tight spiral, man, and he gets rid of it so quickly.
39-yard gain, and Wabash living up to their famous chant, Wabash always fights. That is what they are doing, trying to claw back into it. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7, Snyder the ball carrier.
Maybe that's the play we point to. You know, it's still a lot of game left, but backed up in his own end zone, a lot of time to throw, and threw a dart to Skeens.
Just got sacked, just had a false start, right.
On the fake, the throw, Sullivan, catch made, first down. Out of bounds, inside of the 45-yard line.
I don't want to overlook the play that Heisman Skeens made on that catch either. He got hit catch and got walloped in the middle of the field and held onto the ball.
It was Nolan Tully that made the tackle. We referenced a young man from Woodstock, Georgia in the first half. That is Nolan. Quick hitter, out in the flat, great tackle. Ball's out, but I think it was, they're going to say it was a fumble. I thought they were going to say he was down by contact, but the beanbag came out, which means that is lost yardage on the fumble. So Wabash maintains possession, but it's a 5-yard loss on the play.
Yeah, what a great open field tackle. Let's see.
Fantastic play.
Looked like that ball did come out. Really good open field play. This kind of just lets the DePauw's defense breathe a little bit. Slows Wabash down after a couple of really nice plays.
Penn Stoller on the reception. The 2nd and 15. Again, here's pressure. Thompson gets away from 1, not from 2. Again, we have seen now this wrinkle by DePauw. They're bringing more pressure than we saw in the first half. That is Jonathan Bruder that makes the sack. The ball back to the 49-yard line, 3rd down.
Yeah, and if you look at the subs made right here, 2 in, 2 out. Now we might see this rush 2 little formation right here, at least 3. I don't see any more than that. So really changing up the personnel on defense, which is what Coach Dietz at halftime said has caused problems.
Loss of 2, 3rd and 17. Thompson trying to buy time and nowhere to go. Ball is out again. I think Wabash fell on it.
Yeah, I think so. But gosh, this pressure by DePauw, just relentless up front. You're right, Rick. They did bring some more blitzes. They brought some guys over the course of that drive, but this time just that front 4 getting after Liam Thompson, and good coverage again downfield to allow the defensive line to really make the play.
I believe it was Mark Castor that dove on the football. Young man from Lutheran High School in Indianapolis. So it's actually a gain of 2, but it is still 4th and 15 for the Little Giants. Thompson slings it, catch made, first down. Derek Allen, his 5th grab of the game. Needed 15 and got 18.
Well, not needing much of a window when you have an arm like Liam to get it in there, but what a play that is, because boy, if that doesn't, don't convert there, then DePauw would have a chance to run it down to close to the end of the 3rd quarter, being up to 3 scores.
Matthew Coons on the coverage for the Tigers.
Paul only rushed 3 that time too. Only had 3 on the D line. Had everybody back and still couldn't stop it.
Now the blitz is coming, and Thompson hit as he throws, still completes the pass. That is Sullivan. Well, let's see where Sullivan is marked. Shy of the first down. 9-yard pickup. Cooper Sullivan again, Jacksonville, Florida, the Bowles School. 2nd and short.
Yeah, and Cooper started since he was a freshman too, so he and Liam have been together their careers since game 1.
Sullivan, 46 catches coming in. Thompson, again, here's pressure, throws it, intercepted. Was trying to get rid of the football. Instead, there goes Brevin Good. All the way, 2nd pick 6 of the half. Make it back to a 4-score game.
It is a good day to be a DePauw Tiger. This defense, bend but don't break. A 2nd pick 6 here in the 2nd half. Busting this one open again for DePauw.
For Good, his 2nd pick of the season. for Thompson, the 7th one he has thrown. And right now the DePauw defense is outscoring the Wabash offense. It's 34-7.
And both of these pick sixes, Steve, we talked about the first, just Liam Thompson trying to do too much. Just trying to do too, and that time, that's really a backbreaker because the offense was moving, he was playing well. Just a ball you know he's going to want back every single time.
I really think that his mindset was simply to throw the ball away and just didn't throw the ball where he wanted to.
Yeah, he was either trying to throw it into the stands and as he's getting drugged down, that didn't happen, or trying to throw it to the ground or something, just didn't want to take the loss. But, you know, and a big play by the big guy running it back and returning it.
Brad, even the famous DePauw alumni are hitting my timeline. Drew Powell is watching today's game, and he was first of all concerned for the safety of Derek Schultz with the snowballs in the DePauw end zone. But right now it is nothing but joy for the DePauw fans. Good, the pick six, second defensive touchdown. Comer with one earlier this half, now it is Good. Even though Wabash is starting to move the football on offense, obviously the sands of the hourglass are starting to sift through. It's a 4-touchdown lead with 18 minutes left to play.
Well, the DePauw defensive front, you just got to give them credit there. You know, 3-4 guys at a time, being able to get pressure on Liam Thompson. Obviously the coverage downfield helping that, but that front has been keeping Liam Thompson scrambling around all afternoon. Forced a tough throw there. Just a tough play. I think you're right. Liam trying to throw it away and really just didn't get it what he wanted to behind that ball, behind the pressure from DePauw.
Well, that DePauw defense, I mean, what over 2 quarters of play that they've had today. I mean, you look at this third quarter so far, the Wabash defense has done their job being on the field the one time they got to stop and force the punt. But DePauw still has 2 scores on the board based on 2 pick sixes. It's an impressive job by DePauw's defense.
And for the winner of this game, bragging rights usually all is required between these two schools. But the winner, their season continues on. They are on to the Division III playoffs as the champions of the North Coast Athletic Conference. Fair catch called for by Sullivan. Wabash will start this drive at the 25-yard line. And at Nick Morose's field, the 2021 conference champions sign is underneath the scoreboard here at Blackstock Stadium. They may require some editing to add another potential year or placard to that. It could be back-to-back for the Tigers.
The kicking team had 2 number 24s on the kickoff. That is a foul, illegal equipment on the kicking team. Result of the play was a touchback, 5 yards to be added to the 25-yard line. First down.
We had that happen last year.
Yep, that happens in college football from time to time. B.J. Lomax and Rylan Irvin both can't play on the same play wearing the same number. It's a good problem to have. It means these two small colleges have more than 100 young men that are playing football.
That's right.
Aaron snap. Thompson will field. He'll evade one tackler, but not Ball is out again, and finally able to fall on it. The player that ripped it free was Joey Rowland from Greenfield Central.
Well, I mean, that just went from bad to worse quickly, and almost disaster had that ball gone into the end zone, and you know, just nothing's going right now for Wabash when we see mistakes like that.
Which is interesting, is right as it went on the scoring drive, right? And started again, and then just those 2 pick sixes were just killers, and minus 28 yards on that play.
So second and Montgomery County for Wabash. Good hard running here, but it still sets up 3rd and a quarter of the field. And again, that's Snyder. And for the young men that are seniors on this Wabash team, it is not only the potential of losing the Bell game, but thinking this is the way that your college career could come to an end. It comes quickly on a day like this.
That's what makes this game so emotional, you know, it's the last time. In the game of football, you don't play again. There aren't adult football leagues, full contact football leagues. There are very few anyway.
Thompson looks, slings it, and incomplete. Thought Sullivan would come back towards the sideline. The defender was closest to it, and Dane Young.
Yeah, he sure did. Now what do you do here?
I think you have to punt
right.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, it's just too many things that go wrong, right? As opposed to one thing that could maybe go right and get you a first down.
Isn't it amazing though? The Wabash defense has been on the field for one series, and we have 1:46 left in the third quarter.
And 3 touchdowns have been scored in the half.
Yeah.
Low line drive kick. Veith gets out of the way. This ball will bound out of bounds at the 50. A kick of 36 yards. I want to thank my buddy Pete Smith, who's watching the broadcast on the ISC Sports Network. I wanted to make sure we remembered Jeff McLaughlin on this Saturday. Great Wabash college player, was killed in the line of duty defending our nation back in January of 2005 in Afghanistan. I know there are multiple stories, I'm sure, on both sides of this rivalry, but one that's right in front of me. I want to make sure we acknowledge him on this Saturday.
I played with Jeff, and his locker was really close to mine. I remember got to know him pretty well. He was a couple years ahead of me at Wabash, and man, what an intense player. For his time, he was 6'4", 225-pound linebacker. He had a chance at the next level.
On this Veterans Day weekend, I want to make sure we remember him and who gave the ultimate sacrifice. Shaw on the catch, and it's a 5-yard pickup.
Tell you what, on the list of things I didn't expect to see, it was DePauw coming out throwing right there, and that was a bit of a
That's been down on my list as well too, Brad.
So 2nd down and 5. And if you're DePauw, again, now you're going to go back to kind of your mentality in the first half, which is try to take as many ticks off the 40-second play clock as possible.
And you've only run 3 offensive plays, so if you do want to get back in that rhythm, these guys have been on the sideline really since the second half, and there you see that there, a little miscommunication, and that's the type of thing that can happen.
I would say that's a lack of rhythm.
Yeah.
I don't think that was designed to be a direct snap to the running back, but it almost was that way. But it's 3rd down and 6. Under a minute to play here in quarter number 3. Not sure if I would define a 21-0 comeback as miraculous last year from Wabash. It would take something of the miracle variety at this point. 28 points down with 15 minutes left to play.
It's crazy what pick sixes can do. It doesn't feel 35-7. You know, it just happens so quickly.
Running, completion, Smith. Zapala does just enough to slow him down. So 4th and 1 for DePauw. Do you go for it? You got an entire quarter or a quarter break to decide. 35-7. DePauw looking to wrestle the bell back to Greencastle. Our final 15 minutes comes your way next as you're watching on the ISC Sports Network.
I think
DePauw is a perfect balance of academics, athletics, and still being able to have a social life and be involved on campus.
So I think the DePauw Alumni Network has also mentored me to really find my passions after graduation. Both my internship at Salesforce and at Delta were both in finance, and I'm battling between what company I want to choose to go into after graduation right now.
Wabash men are leaders. In this environment, self-governance is a way of life. Students develop strong leadership skills in classes and labs, on the field and stage, and in clubs and organizations. These men are prepared to take on campus and the world beyond. 1 in 10 of our graduates hold high leadership positions. Presidents, owners, founders, you name it. When you want to lead, you go to a leading school. Come to Wabash. Lead more.
Great look at Blackstock Stadium. It's Nick Morose's field. At some point, I'm going to give you a chance to speak about Coach Nick, but I'm not sure we got the proper time to do so on 4th and 1.
I was going to say, well, we've got 15 minutes left in this game. That might do it, but yeah, good call here by DePauw. I think you have to go for this.
Baumgartner has not been a factor in the third quarter. He was plenty of a factor in the first half. Obviously, Wabash selling out on the run blitz. Baumgartner has the first down and tripped up. Daylight opened, but eventually he was brought down by Joe Rios. It'll be a gain of 5, and if you would, a dose of Tiger Pride. Tell us about your memories of playing for Coach Nick.
Well, Nick Morose is the chief, as we called him, as the winningest coach all time here at DePauw, and playing for him was just really such a remarkable experience. I mean, he's the perfect coach for, as a student, as a man, as, growing up, as a football player. I mean, always, the thing about him, he always made you laugh, made you smile. It wasn't just all about intensity and wins and losses. he was just such a great man and impacted so many people in this football program and really across the state of Indiana and elsewhere. Just a guy that you'll never forget. I've got a bobblehead of Coach Nick in my office, looks over my shoulder on all my Zoom calls and everything at work. So I get to tell the story about Coach Nick a lot to folks at work and across the world that I talk to. So he's a guy that will never leave your heart. Just a phenomenal football and a phenomenal man here at the History DePauw.
7-yard pickup by Baumgartner, 2nd down and 3.
And as he'd say about a day like this too, with the snow and everything, you gotta love it, baby. You gotta love it. That's what he would have said when he walked in and saw all the snow on the field for a game like this today.
High snap. Timing of the play discombobulated. It'll be 3rd down and short. And while we're talking about great coaches that are no longer with us, we've referenced the stripes from 1977 on the Wabash helmets. I've not mentioned SP, Stan Parrish.
Yeah, the back of the helmets all year has been SP, Stan Parrish. Coached at Wabash for 5 years, the head football coach. Passed away in this past year. But he was 42, 3-1 in his 5 years as a head coach.
Of course, would go on to later be the head coach at Ball State University as well. Quigley on the jet sweep. That'll be enough for the 1st down. 4-yard pickup, and again, that was valuable in quarter number 1. Equally as valuable in quarter number 4. 1st down, Tigers at the 24-yard line.
And I think we'll just see a lot of this. Baumgartner, Quigley, Moore. A lot of Tiger run game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, the DePauw offense making everything happen. They've run everything today but the lonesome polecat.
I think we had that last night in the Warren Central Center Grove game, by the way.
Right.
35-7. Ready, rolling. Has Smith in the end zone. Defender slips. I'm not sure if he'd stayed upright. He would have got him. Wabash think and run. Rennie gets his 3rd touchdown pass of the day. The celebration is on in Greencastle. The bell is not going to leave Putnam County this afternoon.
It took till about 12 minutes left in the game, but it was run, short pass, run, and then finally deep down the field. What a route by Smith, a great throw by Rennie, and the Tigers on the board again.
Yeah, Coach Merrill said he was the fastest guy in the NCAC and was really worried about his speed. The other thing he said DePauw would do would be to just put 2 guys they'd block 8 to make sure they had time, put 2 guys in the routes and let them go.
Smith, the young man from Willowbrook, Illinois, his 4th touchdown catch of the season. And the last time that DePauw had a lead like this in the bell game, you got to go back to 1998. That was the first year, what ended up being about a 15-year stretch, where these two teams were not in the same conference. That was kind of at the end of the ICAC days. Wabash stayed for a couple of years in what was in the Heartland Conference, while DePauw was playing in the Southern Collegiate Athletic Conference. 42-7, DePauw won that game, and what would be considered a surprise in terms of the margin, the same thing today. The fact that DePauw is winning, not a surprise. I think it was a surprise either team would have won today. The fact that one or the other is leading by 35, it's rather remarkable.
It really is in this rivalry. You never know what to expect. Years when both teams come in on paper and there's a blowout. Years where one team's down, the other's unbeaten. We've seen the bad team blow out the good team. We've seen years we expected both of them to be bad in a close game to blow. It's just, you can't predict this game. That's what makes it a great rivalry.
You know, I don't want to keep talking about it, but especially since it's bad for Wabash, but that 7 on the board is astounding to me. I mean, a lot of credit to the DePauw defense and how they played, and plus, not to mention pick 6s.
So on the kick. Again, fair catch called for by Sullivan. Well, to your point, Wabash, from a scoring standpoint this year, in every other conference game, had scored at least 41 points. Only time they have had an offensive day like this was frankly against a program that has turned into one of the dominant programs in Division III football, that being the Cardinals of North Central out of Naperville, Illinois. A 56-12 loss back in week number 2, but that's one of the ones that you can kind of chalk up and wipe away quickly. Handoff goes to Snyder. Now for Wabash, to some degree, you're kind of playing for pride. You're also playing for your seniors, trying to give them at least a little something here in the last 12 minutes and counting of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is it. Like Steve, you said, you don't go on to play adult rec football. And so here we go for these seniors. It's a great chance to just, hey, score 0-0. Go out, have fun, play hard, kick someone's butt, and do something great. Well, there is high pointing the football, and then there is also just catching a rocket as it goes by. Both those were true for Allen. He makes the grab at the 41-yard line. First down, Little Giants.
Derek Allen was really coming to his own from Warren Central High School, and he's really added to this this receiver core.
First and 10. Allen, the leading receiver today for the Little Giants. Again, here comes pressure. Coons giving chase, and Thompson goes down. That is the fourth sack of this half for DePauw.
That's crazy. They didn't get him in the first half. They were close several times, including on that corner blitz. We've seen Coons, that's the third or fourth time now in there. He's been close each time. This time he finishes the job and gets the sack.
Coach Morrell specifically talked about that play. He was concerned about it. They do it when he said typically second down to the short side of the field, and there he comes, and it was a factor. Even though we thought it was coming, boy, when you got a speedy guy coming off the edge like that, you can't get away from him.
Thompson looks, takes the short route. That's Stoller. Good stiff arm there. Good run to the tackle by the tight end. Penn, a junior from Cissna Park, Illinois. Out to the 45-yard line. Sets up third down and 6.
Yeah, DePauw just sitting back in a soft defense there. They'll let Thompson take that the entire rest of the fourth quarter.
By the way, Thompson is in the neighborhood of setting the all-time single-season passing record in terms of yards for Wabash. He's right around that number. I'm not sure that's of much solace given the score of this game. Thompson, Sullivan, that's a great grab because he frankly thought through what should have been pass interference and still made the catch at the 43-yard line.
Thought through a jersey tug on that one.
So Sullivan picks up 12 and Wabash picks up a first down. Handoff goes to Snyder. Snyder cuts it back inside. He'll pick up 4, maybe 5. Jonathan Bruder amongst those that were over to make the tackle. Well, we rattle off offensive stats throughout the course of this game. Let's get this DePauw defense some love. Coons, 10 tackles. Marsh, 8 tackles. Comer, 6 tackles and a pick 6. Lowry, 6 tackles. Thompson again. Will tuck it and run. He'll be dropped. That'll also count as another sack. Make that 5. That's a loss of 1. David Gould gets the sack.
It's just remarkable the coverage downfield and 4 guys. I mean, just 4 guys, 4 defensive linemen right here getting that pressure and getting the sack. That coverage outstanding again for DePauw.
Yeah, it certainly has, and all 5 sacks have been in the second half, if I'm not mistaken. But those are coverage sacks.
Third and 7. Catch made by Sullivan. Gives some ground, but gets back the first down yardage. We've taken down at about the 31-yard line. Stoudemire amongst those to make the play for the Tigers as we are down to 9.5 minutes left to go in this 128th play of this rivalry game. Stay tuned, we'll have post-game coverage. See the bell go back to the DePauw sideline as Snyder couldn't make the catch there from Thompson. We talk about the returning players on defense for DePauw. A lot of those as well for Wabash in terms of their skill position players. Skeens is a senior. A couple of senior starters on the offensive line, and Mark Castor and Joe Mullen. This is a group that has 8 of 11 starters returning next year, this Wabash offense.
That's scary.
Well, think about this matchup next year.
Same guys.
Yeah.
You're telling me my game prep won't be so long next year on the toss. It'll be Stoller that could not get it. And while we're talking about preparation, I thanked our buddies Jim Amadon and Brad Hodder on the broadcast already, but let's also thank Brent Harris and Bill Wagner. They are as good as you get in terms of college sports information at any level. let alone NCAA Division III, and they are both institutions at their respective institutions. So thank you, Brent. Thank you, Wags, for all the great job you did in getting us ready for our broadcast today.
These guys are phenomenal. They're just great for both these programs, for this rivalry. They're great to the athletes, too. I mean, they're two phenomenal guys at what they do.
Thompson looking for the end zone. Double coverage, and Allen couldn't win the jump ball. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, I think Derek thinks he should come down with that one. It had been a heck of a circus catch, but he's made those all year. Great coverage again, shoulder to shoulder.
It really was. 2 guys down there. That's
obviously out of bounds anyway.
You need points, but now you leave yourself a do or die right here, 4th and 10.
Need to get this football to just past the 21-yard line. DePauw brings 3. Thompson looks, still, nowhere to go. Ball's out again. Good the sack. Wabash recovers. It frankly does not matter. DePauw gets the stop, and they'll take over with 8:55 left to go.
I mean, the DePauw defense, the secondary, their legs, getting the ice back, getting everything, they've got to be exhausted to defend athletes like that in the secondary for that long consistently. It's incredible the coverage that they have had down the field and just not giving Liam Thompson any opportunity to throw the ball to an open receiver.
Yeah, against this Wabash receiving core, that's really a very talented receiving core. It's quite impressive.
I'm not surprised more guys just haven't popped open on a busted play. The way Thompson can throw the ball, the arm strength, the leg speed, it's just nothing. We saw one busted play early in the game when Liam made a nice throw down the field, but DePauw's coverage team has been all over everyone in the secondary.
Rory Mannering is the defensive coordinator here at DePauw University. His brother Clayton, part of the staff, formerly at DePauw, now the head coach at Lewis Cass, of course, a football family. Their dad, the head coach at Lewis Cass for many years. Baumgartner on the carry. He'll pick up 9.
So here's an interesting thing you don't really think of a lot in the Monon Bell, but at what point does Brett Dietz take some of these guys out? Because you're going to play a game next week. It's cold. You got a playoff game coming up. We've still got the ones in there for DePauw right now. Maybe it's after this possession. You see if you move the ball, but now you got to start thinking about next week.
Yeah, that's a good point. You think it's not the final game and maybe your penultimate game or maybe more than that, but you also want to get guys exposed in the Monon Bell game, start getting some guys in at some point.
Baumgartner on the carry and a gain of 12 yards, but the ball popped free, ball's out. I think it went out of bounds with anybody recovering it. So we'll go back to the spot of the fumble, which I believe is the 38-yard line.
Just fighting for extra yards, and it looked like he was down.
I would agree with that. So they'll go back to the 40-yard line, still good enough for a first down. Baumgartner, 23 carries, 145 yards and a touchdown. Has him up there with one of the better rushing performances in the DePauw history of this rivalry. Rennie looking to throw, looking for the downs, has Shaw, that'll cap it. Touchdown Tigers.
Well, hello, conference championship and playoffs for DePauw. No question about it as they pour it on this afternoon in Greencastle.
This rivalry has been close the last 5 plays, but there was a stretch of time where it got pretty lopsided in favor of Wabash. Today, for the first time in a generation, if not longer, it is lopsided in favor of the team in black and gold. Sullivan on for the extra point try. 49-7.
Well, I think if you're DePauw too, you like to see, hey, we can't throw the ball. Didn't need to do it much, but as you get ready now for next week, you open the offense up. You see Rennie throw a couple of long touchdowns here in the last 2 possessions. I imagine that might be all that we see of Mr. Rennie for the rest of this game.
By the way, for Rennie, he equals a Monon Bell record for DePauw in terms of touchdown passes with 4. The last guy to do that, you may know him from another institution. Longtime Butler head coach Jeff Forrest threw 4 touchdowns in the Monon Bell for DePauw back in 1987.
It's crazy too. You look at the stats. He's thrown 4 touchdowns. Well, they've been running the ball everywhere, and of course you had the 2 pick sixes, but yeah, at the right time, they hit some short passes near the goal line, and the 2 on the last long ones in the last 2 possessions.
Rennie 13 for 19, 149 yards, 4 touchdown passes to go along with the interception. $42 points that DePauw is winning by. That would be a new record for largest margin of victory in this series.
By DePauw.
Correct.
I've been here when Wabash has won by more than that, unfortunately.
That is also the most points scored by DePauw in this game, period. 49 is the record. Go back to Wabash.
Well, one thing you could say about Liam Thompson, if you're DePauw, if you're the NCAC, this is only going to motivate this kid. I mean, it's going to be scary good next year, what he's going to look like with this offense.
Handoff, Snyder. It is not a long bus ride from Greencastle to Crawfordsville. It will feel like an eternity.
Sorry, I started to take your punchline.
It's quite all right.
Supposed to not do that.
My job is to set you up. You guys are the stars on this broadcast. I just keep the train moving. I cannot tell you how much I enjoy getting to spend time with you guys. For those who don't know,
so much fun.
Brad and I hosted a radio show, sadly 15 years ago together at this point. Steve and I have known each other for basically that length of time as well.
Yeah.
And I hope, partner, that you and your crew, as Sullivan makes the grab on the pass from Thompson, 37-yard line for a gain of 8 yards and a first down. I hope you and I are working a state finals together coming up in a couple of weeks. I'll be lucky enough to broadcast the 5A and 6A games on television for the IHSA Champions Network, and I'm hopeful that you and your crew have a chance to work one of those or any of the 6 state championship games at Lucas Oil.
That would be nice.
On the handoff, that's Snyder. Wouldn't be the first time that's happened, by the way. Gain of 3. Brad, what is the party going to be like in Greencastle tonight?
Well, it's always fun to win the belt. It's fun to win it at home too. But you cap a conference championship now, go into the playoffs. It's going to be a great time. There's a lot of snowballs. I'll tell you what, snow angels going to be happening. It's going to be a fun time.
Throw all the snowballs they want.
Yeah, I think so. I think so.
Catch made. Staller. Be down just shy of the first down marker. 3rd down. Brett Dietz is going to run his record at DePauw to 20-4. And Brad, you know this. There was a period of time where the coaches were seemingly changing on a yearly basis. Obviously, Bill Lynch brought great stability to this program. But again, the win today, DePauw is going to win 9 games in a season back-to-back for the first time in program history. Snyder on the carry, first down past the 50.
Yeah, and it's coming off a year in which they won their first playoff game last year in beating Rose-Hulman in the first round of the Division III playoffs. So first playoff win in program history, and so there's real good momentum here. Obviously, you win this game. We talked to both coaches. Don Morrell really pointed out whoever wins the bell tends to win recruiting that year a little bit too. So certainly, that's going to help here in Greencastle. But this is a great team with well coached, a young team too. So both these squads going to be exciting next year.
On the handoff, it's Snyder. I think Wabash obviously want to get points. They want to get positive yards, but I think both teams' goal at this point, keep the clock rolling. This outcome has been decided. Time to move along with this one. And we will have post-game coverage for you. We'll talk to the winning head coach. Thompson keeps. He'll end up getting a yard for his efforts. If Snyder would have had it, he would have lost a couple because Gould was sitting on him. It'll be 3rd down and 4.
Interesting to see how the Division III playoffs work. Last year we had Rose-Hulman and DePauw, got to play a first-round game. This win, certainly will help DePauw. There's kind of regional rankings is what they do in Division III, and this will certainly help DePauw in their regional rankings climb, and maybe potentially even allow them to host a playoff game.
Snyder on the cutback, Lowry on the tackle, Coons and Allen, a little yipping at the end of that play. 4th down and 3. There are teams in 3 different Division III leagues in this state. Trine has become a powerhouse in the MIAA, the Michigan Intercollegiate Athletic Association. You've got different teams in terms of Hanover, Franklin, Rose-Hulman that have kind of taken turns being the powerhouse program in the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference. Here comes a corner blitz, quarterback keep. Thompson the first down, and he'll be knocked forward at about the 32-yard line.
You can see the bell, there it is. I think the official transfer of power is taking place over on the Wabash sideline as the bell gets handed over to some officials from DePauw.
Well, let's face it, this election week, all precincts have reported at this point.
Well, it's a much more civil handoff than it used to be, too.
That is a concession speech at this juncture. Thompson, again, will get sacked. Flag is going to be thrown. He may have been grasped by the face mask. Comer was amongst those in on the tackle. And it has been a very limited penalty game. Our crew today, Jamie Harding, Sean Schreckniep, Michael Pekarski, Bruce Thompson, Stephen Abbott, Tim Dyke, and Lonnie Freeman.
Hey, you're right, Rick. Really not many penalties at all in this one.
I want to thank our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew. Jordan Shue, Alan Hughes, Sean Walker, Adam Phipps, Brian Pierce, Rob Lynch. Thank you to Becca Kelly, Dylan Lax, and Eldon Wheeler high atop those south stands. Thompson in the flat, Stoller inside the 10 and upended. Nolan Tully sent him on a tilt-a-whirl, but it's first and goal at the 5-yard line.
And Stoller's one of these players who's really come into his own this year for Wabash. People really didn't know his name until this year. He's really been solid at that kind of tight end Y/H position.
Who's going to feel that tonight?
Yeah. Maybe feeling that one right now on a frozen turf. Game time temperature 31 degrees. Handoff goes to Snyder. Snyder played such a big part in last year's Wabash win. Everything muted this year for Wabash compared to a year ago. Last year, Little Giants scored 2 touchdowns in each of the second, third, and fourth quarters to win 42-35. No such magic this time for the visitors. On the throw, Stoller, touchdown. Well, a little consolation for the Little Giants. Second touchdown of the half for Thompson. He'll likely finish this year with 34 touchdown passes. It is now 49-13.
It's an incredible number at this level. And coming back next year, you know Liam's going to probably have a target to try to beat that number. Of course, the most important thing will be beating DePauw, but what a season for Liam Thompson. Probably a little consolation to add to it here, but still the numbers are incredible.
Brigham Anderson, young man from Plainfield, with the kick. Extra point is up and good. Well, let's relive a couple of highlights for DePauw fans here in half number 2, and we'll do so with our friends from Telemetry Sports. The pick sixes to see the top end speed of young Mr. Comer, as in Jake. Little sprinter's kick there to finish. And now, let's watch Brevin Good and see if this young man from Hendricks County, as those schools at Danville and Avon well represented here. I know that Brevin's high school defense coordinator Chris Bombi has been watching and enjoying the action today. And thanks to our friends from Telemetry Sports for the role that they have played in today's game.
Pretty fast defensive players there, 17, 18 miles an hour. Maybe I can get 6 out there right now, I don't know.
And I can tell you the fans that are heading that way, you gotta turn around because our camera's gonna block your path. You can't get past our camera operator. Dylan Lax is the gatekeeper on that camera platform down there. They'll have to enter through the track. But frankly, we are past field storming time. This can be an orderly cue to get folks on the field at the end of the game. Fair catch going to be called for. That's Roach. And it'll be, I'm not sure if you'll see the full-on taken knee at this point or Simply a few more handoffs. Maybe you try to get a senior a touch here to say you got it in the Monon Bell game. Steve, this is not a position that Wabash has been in, frankly, for 24 years to kind of be drubbed like this in the Bell game. It's a great program, and I'm not saying you have to make changes based on this, but this leads to an offseason of questions that Wabash hasn't faced in a long time.
Yeah, I think it leads to off-season motivation. You know, you get that over your shoulder because you're ready to come out the next week and replay the Bell game because you want to get back after it. That's your only chance is to wait another year. So I do think it adds that. The questions with Wabash the last 2 or 3 years have been on defense, and we got to figure out, you know, what's going to happen here, whether it's some personnel or scheme or whatever the case is to get our defense on track for next year.
Handoff. And again, that is the backup. That is Drew Moore, and Moore is the senior. So I'm not surprised that he's going to get kind of the final couple touches. If Baumgartner does not get another carry today, he's going to finish with 20-plus carries for 155 yards.
And you know, guys, if you look at the 44 starters we see on the both sides of the ball for both schools, there are literally a handful of seniors on all these.
These are young teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the Wabash defense is young as well. We talked about the DePauw defense.
It's really what's remarkable. You're used to seeing a little more senior laden, especially by the time you get to the Bell game. Not only the young, they're good. There's two really good football teams. Scary for the rest of the league.
First down, and at this point, you want to take victory formation. You can do so. You're under 2 minutes left to play as the ball is going to be at the 42-yard line.
There we go. You see DePauw bringing in a couple of subs, a couple of seniors, some other guys to be back here for victory formation. What a great moment for the Tigers.
By the way, the bell is ringing, and that is being rung by the folks from DePauw. That is the athletic director in Stevie Baker-Watson. She is taking the first right at being able to make that thing toll, and it probably will not stop ringing for the remainder of the evening. You see love to see the sportsmanship, offensive, defensive linemen kind of exchanging the fist pounds, and DePauw dominant today. Tigers got to snap it one more time to end this rivalry affair. Largest margin of victory in favor of DePauw since 1998.
Yeah, this will feel good in Greencastle. There's been some, it's going to be good back and forth the last few years, but it's been quite a bit of run of Wabash dominance. This is going to feel really good for DePauw.
There will be handshakes, but first, there is a race to the bell. Here comes the Stampede.
What is he trying to do?
Wabash, I believe, called a timeout.
No.
I'm not sure that genie can be put back in the bottle at
Not
this
sure
point.
either.
Yeah. Flag is going to be thrown here at the end, but I don't think there's any way to stop that at this point.
It looks like Wabash is huddled up too. They know this is probably not going to be able to be run again. How about that, running through the snow over to the bell.
So Wabash was credited with a timeout. Right now the clock has 5.5 seconds left. At this juncture, I'm not sure how you resume play at this point. Students are on the field. Players have gone to chase down the bell. I think some ice has been poured on winning coaches. And you hear some boos from the DePauw faithful.
This may take some time.
Yeah, I don't know.
So a timeout was given to Wabash. So the bell celebration will have to be delayed by just a matter of moments.
There is no foul on the play.
They're going to wave off the penalty.
Paul looks like they're just trying to find 11 guys that still have helmets on.
Have 11 guys line up.
Yeah, exactly.
Have everybody clear the field. And we'll attempt to get a word with head coach Brett Dietz at the conclusion of this game, maybe with one of the key DePauw players. We'll hang around for a few minutes at the conclusion of the broadcast because this game has went by so quickly in terms of actual playing time of this game. 2 hours and 37 minutes. Wow, is what we're looking at from this 107 kickoff.
Well, we might be adding another 30 minutes for this part right here. Yeah, I don't know what Coach Morrell, why he would call timeout there. I know he has something in mind to get something done. I mean, he's not the kind of guy who would do it just to delay this thing. I mean, no one wants this delayed.
And to that point, both coaches, when we talked to them this week, made a point to say, listen, we don't negative recruit against the other school because we all recruit the same types of kids. You know, these two schools that are arch enemies, well, there's so many similarities between the two of them. That's the type of student and student athlete that participates in every aspect of campus life.
Yeah. I wonder if he was trying to get a certain player in the game.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, maybe for the kneel down.
Well, the last time that, Brad, that you were on the ISC Sports Network, you were coaching your son's team from behind during the Gridiron Gang games at Westfield. We may have coaches behind the play right now.
Yeah, holding play cards, all that kind of thing,
I think they should just snap it and kneel and go. Did they roll it? Was it really 30 seconds?
That's the way they'd like to take a timeout. So
I thought it was under 30 when we snapped it, or when DePauw snapped it. But
players are trying to kind of marshal fans back on the sideline.
Yeah.
Well, in all, it cleared it quicker than I thought they might. I wasn't
you
said,
right.
Not sure we're going to put this back in the bottle. I didn't think they were either.
So. I guarantee you there's some organizational leadership majors on that team.
Yeah, there we go.
That can take care of things such as that.
Just making sure you have the right amount of players on each side.
Almost have the student body off the sidelines here.
About another 4 yards.
We talked about this because of the weather to start the broadcast. We'll finish with the students on the field to end the broadcast. Always expect the unexpected in the Monon Bell Classic.
Absolutely.
No one thought this was going to play out in the fashion in which it did.
No chance.
Now we'll kind of take a gander at the sidelines if another timeout's going to be called here. I don't think so. Wabash players being waved to the sidelines. Handshakes will take place, we think, momentarily. Already the bell has been procured by DePauw. Student body has their possession. The football team earned it this afternoon. Your final score from Blackstock Stadium, 49-14, DePauw over Wabash.
Well, you got a double celebration. The game's so nice, they got to do it twice. So DePauw with a huge, huge win. We'll wait to see who they play in the playoffs next week. But this has to feel good for a Tiger team that went in and dominated the start of the game last year in Crawfordsville and absolutely collapsed and couldn't finish. So to come back to race out to a 21-point lead again, this time not only hold it but expand it and get a big win. What a year for this DePauw team. It's not over yet, but this feels good after what happened last season in Crawfordsville.
And there's a good little safety perimeter right now that is separating the kind of en masse of DePauw folks at the center of the field to the Wabash team that is
Wabash people
sequestered on their bench.
I think the outcome, kind of the score and the weather helped too. There's decidedly less folks here than there were an hour or so ago. It could have made this field storming and rushing a little more difficult to clean up.
Well, let's kind of get your final thoughts, gentlemen. Brad, how do you describe the way you feel at the conclusion of this one?
Well, I mean, it's rare that you go into a game and say this is exactly what you need to do to win, and you do it. And that's exactly what DePauw did. They kept the ball out of the hands of Liam Thompson. The effort by that defense, dropping 7, 8, 9 guys, the coverage that they had to limit Liam Thompson's ability to throw the ball downfield, and everything worked perfectly for the Tigers. And it's a team that's, look, it's a good football team, and they can make some noise maybe in the Division III playoffs starting next week. But ultimately, this is about retribution after last year's collapse in Crawfordsville. They get it. It's a huge win. It's a great day for the program, and great to see the Bell back in Greencastle for the Tigers.
Steve, on the flip side, frankly, in your days of broadcasting this game, whether for this outlet, others, for Wabash College, you've seen a lot more W's than losses. Not a position the Little Giants are familiar with. What do you learn from the day, and how does this kind of mold now what the offseason looks like for Don Morell and company?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think it's just motivation. You know, you're ready to get back out and play another day, and it's just motivation in the offseason. You talk to each other about it. You know what this feels like. Look, there's a high in winning this game, but the low is I think, lower than the high is. The low is lower than the high is high, in my opinion. So
I think you're right,
tough.
Steve. That's a good point. Yeah.
And so I think it's motivation for next year, just as DePauw had it all off season coming into this season. But did not expect to score. The players of the game has to be that DePauw defense, even though the DePauw offense did exactly what they wanted to do by running the ball, but 2 pick sixes. And what they did, holding the Wabash offense to 104 yards in the first half, is just unheard of. I wouldn't have seen that coming this year.
Some of the individual numbers in today's game, again, for Wally Rennie, a young man that we didn't talk that much about, despite a record-setting performance today with 4 touchdowns. 13 for 19, 149 yards. And again, it ties a Monon Bell record for DePauw with 4 touchdown passes. His favorite target today was Trey Shaw, the young man from Northview High School. 6 catches, 77 yards, and 2 scores for the senior from Brazil. Gus Baumgartner, who will come back and play in this game one more time, had a big performance last year, big one this year as well. 24 carries, 155 yards, and a touchdown. Again, those are some of the big offensive numbers for DePauw. On defense, Matthew Coons, 10 tackles. Luke Marsh, 9 tackles. 7 each for Jonathan Bruder, Jake Comer, Brevin Good, as well as Ethan Lowry. But again, the scoring stars were Comer and Good for the DePauw defense, both having picks, sixes in the second half to help stretch this to a 35-point game. Remarkably, it almost seems like the conversation about a conference championship and continuing your season seems secondary at this point. The bell is the thing when these two teams come together. But Brad, this group will celebrate this tonight, and you're preparing for a playoff game as of tomorrow.
But you're right, Greg. That's kind of how it goes. The bell is first, second, and third, and then, oh yeah, there's another game. There's a conference championship. So DePauw will play, at least one more week and hopefully beyond. And I think this is a talented team that showed they won a playoff game last year. Let's see if they can win another and maybe expand on that and win a couple. So DePauw has to feel great about the momentum they've got. They've been playing really well. They've got Rennie back from that injury now with a couple of weeks under his belt, and what they did up front and in that defensive secondary. I mean, that's a team that can really play with just about anyone in Division III from a defensive standpoint, and we'll see that when they start next week in the playoffs.
Want to thank again our tremendous ISC Sports Network crew. Thank you to Jordan Shue, Sean Walker, Adam Phipps. Thank you to Becca Kelly, Dylan Lax, Eldon Wheeler, Brian Pierce, Rob Lynch, Alan Hughes, Jamie Owens. Thanks to those behind the scenes, Brad Hodder at DePauw University, Jim Amadon from Wabash College, Brent Harris, and Bill Wagner. But most importantly, thanks to all of you for watching. This is an environment that is unrivaled in Division III. Frankly, this is a broadcast that is unrivaled in Division III, and that is because of the passion